Chapter E. She wants to be the protagonist. Century Huiyuan auction venue. A backless mocking dress skirt inlaid with pink diamonds was pushed on the stage. The host smiled and introduced to the guests below the stage that this was the legendary movie Queen Shu Yue's war robe that became famous in the First World War. Today's auction starts at 10 million. Shu Yue, the film queen, is the only actress to win the highest awards of the 5 major international film festivals with her works. She is on among the whole Chinese actresses. She's Haixing came tonight for this dress, but she is not the only one who wants it. Brother Huo is how, this dress is so beautiful. Xu Jinao, the adopted daughter of the Xu family, is her nominal fake sister, staring at the watery eyes, pretending to be delicate. I haven't worn such a beautiful skirt since I was a child. Gu Huo is how is obviously Xu Haixing's boyfriend, but he looks at Xu Jinao affectionately at this time. My brother will take a picture and give it to you today. He picked up his membership card. 20 million. But it seems that my sister also wants this skirt. Xu Jinao seems to have just remembered it. I'd better buy it for my sister. She usually wears store goods, and this skirt suits you better. Gu Huo is how interrupted her words, and Yu Guang glanced at Xu Haixing, and his eyes were full of disgust. Do these two people think she is stupid and blind? Xu Haixing could see the disgusting interaction between the two and couldn't help sneering from the bottom of his heart. She withdrew her gaze and raised the card. 50 million. No, the star. Gu Huo's house face suddenly became gloomy. As long as Xu Haixing didn't bid, he could take down the dress. Hello? What are you jealous of? Yao just wants this dress. Can't you give it to her? Xu Haixing was speechless. Why should I give in? Xu Haixing, do you have to be angry with me? Turn round and look Huo's how suppressed his anger. If you behave well now, don't make a fuss. When the dinner is over, I can buy you a skirt for thousands of yuan. After all, no matter how high the price is, you don't have that temperament, and you will be ugly when you wear it. Haha. Xu Haixing lifted his curly hair and leaned against the leather sofa. Don't talk nonsense and bid by yourself. Are all the best. You have a kind. Gu Huo is how gritted his teeth. 80 million. The atmosphere in the venue suddenly became lively, and 80 million is rare in auctions of this level. Unexpectedly, Xu Zhixing raised his eyes slightly and raised his card again. 200 million. The 3 words light made the whole audience quiet. 200 million. Buying a second-hand skirt. Crazy. Gu Huo is how also looked at Xu Haixing with a psychopath, and the irritation and disgust in his eyes were self-evident. Congratulations to this lady. The staff smiled and squinted their eyes and personally delivered the war robe. Did you swipe the card or? Tear-eyed eyes of the venue turned to this side. Xu Jinao's face was worried and said weakly, Sister, this is an auction. In the end, she really had to take so much money. Neither my parents nor my brother will agree to help you pay this money, and neither will my brother who is how. Apologize to the staff now. Xu Jinao's voice was neither loud nor small, just so that everyone in the venue could hear it. Everyone realized in an instant that this was the second lady who the Xu family had just picked up from the countryside. I heard that she was not educated. Today, I'm afraid it's going to be a joke. The eyes of sarcasm all fell on Xu Haixing. Miss Xu, the staff who were still laughing just now didn't speak well at this time. Our auction is not for you to make fun of. What are you in a hurry? Xu Haixing was calm and leisurely, and handed the bank card to the staff with 2 slender jade fingers. The staff glared at her with disgust and disgust. Well, since she had to be humiliated like this, she didn't mind Cheng. She sneered in her heart, snatched Xu Haixing's card and put it on the POS machine. Draw. Swipe the card successfully. The electronic and mechanical sound sounded, and the whole audience could be heard falling, and then it was boiling. 200 million. How can she have it on the card? Didn't you say you don't have money? Even if it's the Xu family, is there a trend to give 200 million yuan of pocket money casually? Xu Jinao's face turned red and white, and Gu Huo is how gritted his teeth and stared at Ding. Congratulations on your successful face slap. The treasure chest has been opened. The electronic sound in his mind started, and Xu Haixing hooked his lips. A stack of intimate photos of Xu Jinao and Gu Huo's also appeared in Xu Haixing's bag for no reason. Unfortunately, just before the auction began, she just learned that she was cannon fodder in a group favorite novel, and the heroine of this novel is naturally Xu Jinao. Xu Jinao has her own aura of thousands of fans, whether it is Xu Haixing's biological parents, the biological brother, or the boyfriend next to him who fell in love with Xu Haixing. Everyone automatically crawled at the feet of the heroine like licking dogs, offering the whole world to her crying and soft. And Xu Haixing, was vicious, ignorant and stupid. In the end, she was abandoned by her family, betrayed by her boyfriend, blamed by her friends, and then she was dumped by the heroine. Fortunately, as soon as he learned the truth, She's hikingly armed about a God-face-led system. The system said that it would provide her with all the resources, in exchange for her to become the brightest person on the planet, shine, have money, power and reputation. This is far from enough. She wants to tear off Xi Jinping's hypocritical fake face with her own hands and crush all the people who have abused her into the mud. Go to his cannon fodder female supporting role. She wants to be the protagonist. She's Hixing agreed without hesitation. The money for the dress just now is the first resource provided by the system. You just want to see me make a fool of myself, don't you? Gu Huai's house face suddenly became cold and he stared at She's Hixing gloomily. No matter how vicious and selfish people like you learn, they can't learn Yao Yao's elegance. Brother Huai's how? Xi Jinping shouted weakly, and then went over to hold Gu Huai's house arm and raised her palm-sized face. Our family didn't give Hixing so much money. Will my sister be cheated? Gu Huai's how also seemed to realize something, and his face became more gloomy. She's Hixing, are you shameless? She's Hixing was really amazed by the thief's ability to catch the thief and beat him back. The next second, the corners of her lips were gently hooked, and her fair and delicate little face smiled more and more beautifully. But his hand grabbed a stack of photos directly from the back and smashed it on their faces. Who on earth is shameless? She's Hixing's eyes sneered. She's Hixing, R.Y. Oh, happy to seduce my boyfriend. Then the muzzle of the gun was aimed at Gu Huai's how, the impotent man, who cheated on my sister on my household registration book. Is it cheap? The intimate light of various postures floated down. Xi Jinping screamed and hurried to catch it. Gu Huai's house anger rose even more. She's Hixing, if I fall in love with you, you should be grateful to Didi. Do you think you are such a stupid and vicious to bail? Does anyone else want you except me? Gu Huai's house eyes are gloom. Why, Gu Huai's how, don't want a woman, who dares to want it? Read less of the quotes of the boss. Chapter I will give you money afterwards, as much as you want. She's Hixing was about to curse a few words, and the system in his brain reminded again, if you hit your face again now, there is a chance of a critical strike. Critical strike. She just wants to hit the scumbag. She coldly raised her red lips, and the corner of her eyes caught a glimpse of the most handsome man in the whole venue looking out, with a little smile in her beautiful apricot eyes. Then open your dog eyes wide and take a good look. After saying that, She's Hixing turned around and looked at the most handsome man extremely calmly and naturally. She's Hixing smiled and caught up, took the man's arm, lowered his voice, did me a favor, cooperated with my acting, and gave you money afterwards, as much as you wanted. However, at the moment she leaned over, the man's tall body pressed the center of gravity on her. She raised at her eyes and bumped into the pair of dark and deep eyes. The man's face was cold, his thin lips were gently squeezed, and a pair of beautiful and deep defense eyes were like a pool, attracting people to think constantly. His eyebrows were sharp, and his cold eyes contained restrained lust, which was deep and deep. She's Hixing's heart beat faster. He is so handsome and earns money. Seeing that the man did not object, She's Hixing acquiesced to agree and was about to help people leave the venue when the man's hoarse voice sounded above his ear. He went upstairs. There was a guest room. It's okay, anyway, I go wherever I go. Seeing that She's Hixing had really found a man who was a little more noble than he looked in such a short time, Gu Huai's house face turned black with anger. Even Xi Jinping couldn't help being jealous. Both eyes are about to burn a hole in She's Hixing's back. However, this is just the beginning. She's Hixing took him all the way to the elevator. As soon as the door of the guest room was closed, She's Hixing turned around and saw the man lying on the bed, so he sat over very naturally. When the auction was over, I would pay, and you could leave. Before she finished speaking, she was suddenly knocked down by the man and pressed up. He leaned over and bit her ear, and all the heat he exhaled hit her auricle. His voice was low and sexy. No need to, just pay for the flesh. The domineering, NG hormones on the man made She's Hixing blush slightly. Sleeping with a top handsome man at the beginning, is there such a good thing? System, she was calm on the surface, but in fact, she was already excited and roaring in her heart. She hurriedly asked if you have any male contraceptives. Hurry up, I'll buy it. The electronic sound in the brain is very speechless. If you successfully hit your face once, you will accumulate 10 points, and 5 points can be exchanged for a male contraceptive. Pill. It's so expensive. Treacherous business. After scolding, I still bought the medicine. The tall and handsome man was gently gnawing her lips, and the faint cold rosin completely enveloped her, which made people a little dizzy. His eyes have been captured by desire, and the wild lust rises, and the rough palm rubs her delicate and sensitive legs. Calm down. She's Hixing suddenly turned over and rode the man, pinched his chin, stuffed the small pill that had just appeared in his hand into tea. He man smiled, and forced him to swallow it. Only then did he hook his lips with satisfaction. She leaned over and kissed her. She was so good. The next second, the man, like a crazy beast, with deep eyes, frantically pressed her under his body and took it away. Early the next morning, Shi's Haixing woke up quietly. As soon as I moved my hand, I touched a hard one. Shi's Haixing immediately opened his eyes and lowered his head. Oh, it was his abdominal muscles. She was very disappointed. The memo, rice that made people blush and beat their hearts last night were all over. She yawned, raised her eyes and crashed into the man's dark eyes. 50万元, buy you one night. After dressing up, Shi's Haixing lazily patted a thick stack of cash on the bedside table. She looked a little arrogant. Oh, by the way, you serve me, and I am the antidote for you. We don't owe each other. On the bed, the man's face was cold, with a pair of quiet eyes staring at her. His thin lips pressed tightly, and his expression was a little complicated. Shi's Haixing didn't care and left straight away. Ding, the face hit is successful, and the treasure chest has been opened. The electronic sound of the machine sounded again, and the force value was 加十, force value, good things. Shi's Haixing's red lips smiled brightly. Can you change cars and houses with your points? Is there anyone else? An hour later, under Shi's Haixing's name, he transferred to 2 luxury properties worth hundreds of millions. In addition, there are famous car supercars such as Rolls-Royce Phantom, as well as professional housekeepers and more than a dozen newly discharged bodyguards in black. A cool Bugatti Veyron parked in front of Shi's house. Miss, please get out of the car. The bodyguard came to open the door in person, and a row of bodyguards in black bent down. Shi's Haixing hooked his lips with satisfaction. Stepping on a 5-centimeter thin high heel, Ting walked into Shi's house. Shi's Haixing, Shi Jinao didn't expect that she would dare to come back. She was surprised for a moment and immediately pretended to be weak. Shi Guishan and Lin Man's faces flashed disgust. Lin Man was so angry that he gritted his teeth and bought a skirt for 200 million. Our family's money didn't come from the wind. It's just for your vanity to commit such a big fool. Haixing, you only have 1 million in your card. Where did you get 200 million? Shi Guishan's gloomy eyes stared at her. Did you steal the family's money? You are quite good at putting gold on your face, as if the Shi family has 200 million in cash. Shi's Haixing didn't even raise his eyelids. Even if the money didn't belong to the family, you deliberately humiliated me and brother Huaishao at that time. Shi Jinao felt sorry for her. Since yesterday, the public opinion on the internet has been brewing, and a lot of people have scolded her. Fortunately, the family spent money to buy it. Otherwise she would have lost fans. Shi Jinao hated it to death in her heart, but she still put on a crying expression on her face. Sister, you must come forward to clarify. Otherwise I will. Yao, don't worry. Shi's Haixing will definitely come forward to prove his innocence. Don't cry. Lin Man immediately cared about Shi Jinao. Shi Guishan's face is as black as the bottom of a pot. Shi's Haixing, your behavior is too uneducated. Country people are country people, and they can't get on the stage. I have arranged the clarification meeting for you. You must make it clear that you framed Yao Yao. This is her biological parents. Like a joke. It's all set to be planted and framed. Why don't you say that she put a knife on Shi Jinao's neck and forced her? Shi's Haixing asked back in a cold voice. Who said I was going? Little sister. Shi Jinao was anxious when she heard it. She immediately came forward and looked at her weakly. Don't talk back to that. That is not in good health. I know you didn't mean to embarrass those fake photos. Bang. Before he finished speaking, he was caught off guard and slapped Shi Jinao in the face. With the bonus of force value, Shi Jinao's cheeks swelled rapidly, and Shi's Haixing smiled from the bottom of his heart. See, I did it on purpose. Also, have you done those things clearly? You can deceive others, but you can't deceive me. Lin Man screamed and hurried forward to protect Shi Jinao, looking at Shi's Haixing as if he was looking at his enemy. Shi's Haixing, Shi Guishan was also completely angry. He had a calm face. How dare you hit your sister? People like you don't deserve to enter my Shi family at all. I'm here to teach you a good lesson today. Chapter 3. If she doesn't apologize, I will block her on the whole network. He was grumpy. He rolled up his sleeves and saw that his hand was about to fall on Shi's Haixing's face. Suddenly, a row of powerful bodyguards in black stood up, and the copper wall and iron wall were in front of Shi's Haixing. The leader didn't say a word and slapped Shi Guishan in the face. Bang! Shi Guishan as stunned and sat on the ground. Lin Man was shocked and angry. Shi's Haixing, can't you go against the sky? If we had known, we shouldn't have recognized you. She also wanted to hit, but as soon as she rushed forward, the slap didn't fall. The bodyguard in black went up and slapped. A 5-finger print. The well-maintained face swelled up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Shi's Haixing was happy. He pointed to Shi Jinao, who wanted to sneak away, What was he doing in a daze? There was bitter honesty. Oh, eat together. And the ring and do were all stained. Fight. The villa let out a scream like Xi Jinao killing a pig. She's Haixing. Xi Guisheng and Lin Man were so angry that they stood up and pointed at She's Haixing in anger. Dare to hit your father and mother. This is a crime of intentional injury. I want to call the police. Do you need me to call 110 for you? The professional housekeeper took out a lawyer's certificate with a 12-point smile. We have just recorded the evidence. It was you who did it first. We want to sue you to beat our Miss Xu. Xu family is stupid. Is there a mistake? Who beats whom? If you don't mind, I can also publish it on the internet. Please have a look together. The housekeeper smiled. The Xu family wants to show face, and it is impossible to spread such a scandal. But Xi Guisheng couldn't swallow this breath. He glared at She's Haixing viciously. She's Haixing, you have the ability to get out of the Xi family. Leaving the Xi family, you are nothing. Coincidentally, I'm here to break up with you today. She's Haixing smiled faintly and motioned the bodyguard to go upstairs to pack his things. She proudly raised her chin and swept over the three people of the Xi family with cold eyes. From now on, She's Haixing, have nothing to do with your Xi family. Don't touch me. Next time, it's not just a slap in the face. The surname Xi is disgusting to her, but this is just the first step. In the future, I really look forward to seeing the scene of this group of people falling in love when they are depressed. Thinking of this, it was difficult for She's Haixing to suppress the corners of his mouth with anger. Just as the bodyguards had just finished packing up, she took a group of people and left Xi's house. On the ground, Xi Jinao covered half of her face in embarrassment and stared at She's Haixing with hatred. We don't the Xi family, how can she? She's Haixing, do it. The circle will not accept her at all. A cold light flashed in Xi Jinao's eyes. She picked up her mobile phone and called brother Xilin. As soon as she opened her mouth, she was crying. Brother, Xilin was nervous in an instant. Yao, what's wrong? My sister said that she would break off the relationship with us. She ran home today and beat my parents and me. She also deliberately pet my fake photo and slandered me. Xilin's eyes turned cold in an instant. He opened his lips coldly. I will send someone to catch her. If she doesn't apologize, I will block her on the whole network. At this time, She's Haixing, who was remembered, was in the center of the imperial capital, in front of the mansion with an inch of land and an inch of gold. This building is the most expensive one in this circle of luxury villas. It has been hung up for nearly 2 years, because no one has been interested in the price. She's Haixing looked up and down and was quite satisfied. She took off her sunglasses, and the housekeeper next to her immediately caught it with her hand and bent down slightly. Miss, please. The bodyguards had laid a long red carpet. She's Haixing raised his red lips and was about to go in, but a harsh voice came from behind him. Yo, She's Haixing, a glamorous woman, dressed in a famous brand, stepped on high heels and came over. She glanced up and down at She's Haixing, and then looked at the mansion and smiled contemptuously. I thought you were so tall. Aren't you on the list of gold? The person is Meng Yunayin, a femme star who debuted at the same time as her. Previously, Meng Yunayin chose to accept the hidden rules at a banquet. After being on the list, she slept all the way to the top, and now she is a second-tier flower. Today, when I went out, my right eyelid jumped, but I didn't expect to meet a dog. I haven't seen you for a long time. Miss Meng still looks down on people. She's Haixing bent an extremely beautiful smile on the corners of his lips, and his eyes were shining. Meng Yunayin's face turned white, and immediately turned angry. Am I wrong? Can you afford this mansion worth hundreds of millions with your current coffee position? It's not about men to rise to the top. At this time, the property manager hurried to She's Haixing, holding several lists and documents in his hand. Miss Xu, the property under your name will start paying the water, electricity and gas bills normally today, which is the contract we pay on our behalf. Under her name, Meng Yunayin suspected that she had misheard. This house is hers. The property manager took a strange look at Meng Yunayin. Miss Xu bought it in full today. Is there any problem? It's impossible. Meng Yunayin screamed loudly. Why did she rely on her body to rise to the top? But She's Haixing could directly buy a mansion. Where did she get the money? What? I'm the gold owner himself. Did I poke your sensitive skin? She's Haixing said slowly. I'm going home. No. Meng Yunayin wanted to say something else. She saw a bodyguard in black standing up. A sign at the door of the mansion. Meng Yunayin and the dog are not allowed to enter. Ding. Congratulations on the successful face hit. The treasure chest has been opened, and the charm value is 加10. The electronic sound in his mind sounded again, and She's Haixing lifted his curly hair. Let's go and look at the mansion. She stepped on the red carpet and bypassed the Central European, style fountain. A row of cool sports cars is parked neatly in the garage next to the garden. This mansion is about more than 1,300 square meters. The location is very good. It also has its own large open-air swimming pool, which is the decoration style inside. She's Haixing doesn't like it very much. The living room is too spacious, and the separate living room is separated. In addition, there are tea rooms, floor-to-ceiling windows, glass rooms connected to the garden, gyms, etc. And even Chinese and Western kitchens are two separate kitchens. On the negative floor, there are also wine cellars, small artificial lakes, slides connected to the swimming pool, and large sandbox open greening, etc. She's Haixing took the elevator to the second floor and looked at the bedroom. Well, it was not an illusion. It was indeed empty. Miss, 4 accompanying nannies, 6 housekeepers, 2 chefs, florists, repairmen, etc. have been arranged, all waiting for your instructions. The housekeeper bent down slightly. Well done, she's Haixing praised. Let's go to the mall. I want to buy something, because it was just a daily stroll. She's Haixing only took a housekeeper and a bodyguard in black into the store of the LS brand. This is an Italian brand in the last century. A sofa starts from tens of millions. Basically, the mentions on the name are all used in this furniture. She plans to buy all the furniture of this brand to enrich the house. Chapter 3. The internet is all about the black material that you are taken care of. This lily of the valley floor lamp is quite design-like. She's Haixing glanced lazily at one of the lamps, waved his little hand, and wrapped it. The salesman who heard the sound immediately smiled. The young lady is really good-sighted. This lily of the valley lamp is the work of the famous designer Allen Global Limited. This is the only one in our store. She's Haixing listened carelessly and pointed to another sofa. And he also wanted this one. Alright. The salesman's face was unstoppable with joy. This is a big order. She looked up and was about to ask She's Haixing's address. She's Haixing just lifted her sunglasses. The salesman's eyes were wide, and her voice was raised by 8 degrees. She's Haixing. She's Haixing paused, and her eyes were surprised. She was fully armed with sunglasses and masks. Can this be recognized? She is really beautiful and unique. So it's you. The salesman changed his attentive attitude. His cold face turned to the sky, and his 2 nostrils were angry. He almost wrote the word contempt on his face. A mockery flashed in her eyes, and she snatched an exquisite LS ornament that She's Haixing was holding in his hand. This was LS, not the 30 yuan free shipping skirt you wore at the premiere last year. This ornament cost 6 million. She couldn't help sneering, deliberately wiped the place that She's Haixing had just touched with an alcohol cotton cloth, and put the ornaments on the table again. She's Haixing was happy. It's so oral that people who don't know it think that you created this brand. She signaled to the bodyguard that these ones were all, so wanted to be moved. She's Haixing. The salesman was very angry. She liked Xu Jinao and had long been unhappy with people like She's Haixing. I have been a black fan online for so many years, and there is no reason to retreat offline. She sneered. A vicious and stupid person like you doesn't deserve to enter the entertainment industry at all. It doesn't deserve to use our brand. At this moment, a middle-aged man in a suit came over and bent down when he met Miss Xu. Thank you for your hard work. Are these all you need? I will arrange someone to deliver the goods to your door immediately. May I ask your address? That's really sorry, I'm especially suitable. She's Haixing first smiled at the salesman, and then said to the man, Jiangchen Yigu Villa, the most expensive one. The man hurriedly piled up a smiling face. Okay, Miss Xu, it will be delivered to you this afternoon. Manager, what are you doing? She has no money to pay at all. The address she said is simply lying. The salesman's words are fierce. Shut up. The manager's face turned cold. He didn't know how to receive big customers. What do we need you to do here? Do you want to catch up? You didn't get a commission for this order today, and you were fired. The salesman's face turned pale. No, what I said is true. She really has no money. She is just pretending. Miss Xu, congratulations on your successful payment. Another salesman with a professional smile politely took out a receipt and a card and handed it to She's Haixing. You have purchased a total of 130 million pieces of furniture this time. Our brand will give you an additional latex mattress worth 10 million yuan, which will be delivered to you with the goods. The salesman froze on the spot. She never thought that She's Haixing's money came from to buy so much furniture, which was worth hundreds of millions. Can you take it out casually? The manager respectfully sent She's Haixing away, turned around and scolded the salesperson. Stupid. If I hadn't come in time, this order would have gone. Take off your uniform and leave to get your salary today. Now the job is gone. And a trace of hatred flashed in the eyes of the salesman. She pinched her hands viciously, picked up her mobile phone, and took a few photos of Xu Haixing's departure. When Xu Haixing sat by the floor-to-ceiling window of the mansion and quietly read the novel, the internet had turned upside down. The agent Wen Qi called. Xing, where are you? At home. Xu Haixing took a sip of black tea. Slowly. Wen Qi was her classmate in college. When she was lonely and unknown, she signed a contract to become an agent and partnered with her to open a studio. She has been living all the way until now and has never left. Ancestors, you are still leisurely. Do you know that the black material of your adoption is being exposed on the internet? Our studio and your personal Weibo have been exposed, which is full of swearing. Black fans are going to kill you. Xu Haixing smiled. The rows of pedicure DS at the door were full of a sense of security. She comforted Wen Persimmon. There are so many black materials, which is not less than half a star. You can find a sailor to stir up trouble, so that my Xu Haixing's name will definitely be well known. Wen Qi, it's over. The only artist in their studio is crazy. She changed her words. Don't care about the black material for now. Xilin knows the film and television company in the entertainment industry, right? He threatened to block us. Now, we can't get any cooperation at all, and all the previously negotiated ones have been withdrawn. Xilin, that's Xilin. It's over. We're really done. How on earth did you mess with him? When she felt that the future was hopeless and it was dark, and he almost cried for Xu Haixing on the spot. Don't worry, Ems. When, as a future gold medal agent, you need to have the courage to wait. Xu Haixing put down his mobile phone, took out a piece of paper and a pen, and beat the pen shaft while recalling the whole group's favorite novel, those popular stars, and all kinds of popular film and television projects. For a moment, she wrote down a lot of names of people and projects, and some added some features and other information to distinguish them. Alright, it's done. Xu Haixing took a photo with satisfaction and sent it to Wen Qi. Wen Qi has been scratching the wall over there. What are you sending? I haven't heard of it. Listen to me. Go and dig up these people. Our studio is about to become a listed company. Xu Haixing thought of the cheap big brother and hooked his lips coldly. I want to let Xilin know what is called real blogging. Anyway, she is rich now. Instead of working by herself, it's better to hire others to eat cakes together. When Persimmon's eyes went black and he almost left. Xing, tell me the truth. Are you possessed by evil? Otherwise, how can you say such crazy words? She is still talking bitterly over there. 大姐, I said earlier that you are very in-hearted and need to find a man as soon as possible. I'll show you Santero tonight. Forget it. When Persimmon opened his mouth again, Xing, I helped you get a comprehensive resource, which is the top-notch resource we can receive within our scope. You must pick it up. This is what I got because I drank until my stomach was bleeding. When Persimmon is good at everything except superstition. It's a pity that in the book, in order to make Xu Haixing's character more hated, when she also went astray and died tragically in the end. Thinking of her stomach bleeding in the hospital, Xu Haixing was still soft-hearted. She hadn't tried the left and right love variety show. I heard that it was very interesting, so she agreed. I'll go. You also have to find someone for me according to that list. I'll transfer the money to you now. And you don't save money. Chapter 2. Your face made me want to vomit. As soon as the phone was hung up, when Persimmon's mobile bank card immediately received a text message to transfer 800 million yuan. Damn it, look at the flowers. She rubbed her eyes and almost fainted after counting a string of zeros. Everyone is bragging when they say that they are rich. How can Xu Haixing come for real? Her head was dizzy, but her heart was even more excited. She took the list in a hurry and began to ask for help. 双引号 Heartbeat Diary is a live-type love variety show. Generally, half of the popular big stars and half of the top Amadis will be arranged to have a love date, so as to create a blushing and heartbeat. The selected venues are generally farmhouses, restaurants, large scenic spots, etc. This time, it was directly in the center of the largest business district in the imperial capital. Xu Haixing went to the beauty salon for a spa in the morning. At this time, she appeared slowly, and the bodyguard behind her also held a small umbrella for her. She put on the headset and other live broadcast equipment. As soon as SHE arrived at the meeting place, she caught a glimpse of Gu Huaishao and Xu Jing'ai standing together. But, bad luck. She looked away and was about to pretend not to see it. But Gu Huaishao's face suddenly turned cold. Seeing that Xu Haixing was wearing a delicate ruffle skirt, she was delicate and had only a light makeup on her delicate little face, but she was still dazzling. Gu Huaishao's eyes flashed with disgust and a little smug secret joy. He was sure that Xu Haixing came for him. She's Hixie. Angie, who always mocked her with a cold face. Didn't we have to worry about it that night? Why do you still chase here? His voice is very cold. Look up and down at her skirt. I said earlier that you don't have to deliberately learn YAO's dress. She is beautiful and temperamental. It's not something you can learn. The eyes of gossip around faintly looked over. Now that the broadcast has not officially started, there is no need to care about the image in front of the camera. Don't talk. She's Hixing stopped him and made a light vomiting gesture. Your face made me want to vomit. Her face turned pale for a while, and it didn't look like a fake. Huaisha choked in his throat. Brother Huaisha, she may not accept it for a while. Jinio held him weakly. My sister was like this. She was at home before. It seemed that she couldn't talk anymore. Jinio lowered her head with tears in her eyes. Huaisha softened his heart in an instant. Yao. Don't be afraid. Why? Oh, have me. She's Hixing got goosebumps after watching the bitter scene between the two. Damn, isn't this love variety show that their two families deliberately invited them to break out in love after paving the way? Well, thank you for coming to the love variety show Love Diary. Today, let's invite the lost guests, Mr. Qing and Qing Yuaos. The host stretched out his hand with a smile and pointed to the entrance and exit. She's Hixing raised his eyes lazily. The moment he saw the man's face clearly, his face was a little messy. It was the man she had a one-night stand that day. How did he appear here? Qing Yao's face was handsome and his eyebrows were cold. His ink-like Danfeng eyes were deep and deep, which made people unable to see through his emotions. The angular face was particularly handsome. Qing Yao's was straight and walked in with great momentum. It's just that his expression is not very good. Especially the moment I saw She's Hixing, I sank to the bottom. Qing Yao's condensed eyes fell on She's Hixing. If it hadn't been for the joint design of his friend and grandma, he wouldn't have come to participate in this kind of thing. But it was such a coincidence that he met the woman who slept with him that night of traditional Chinese medicine. The live follow-up camera is in place. The director group under the stage said an okay, and the host spoke very professionally. Everyone has just arrived and is not very familiar with each other. Then please introduce yourself first. After the introduction, we will choose the partner for the first date. In the introduction session, She's Hixing was the last one's turn, and his position was also on the edge. Who will Mr. Gu choose? After some introduction, the host brought the topic to Gu Huaishao. Gu Huaishao is a popular top actor, and his influence is naturally out of the question. He smiled as a gentleman, and Yu Guang sneered at She's Hixing and said, then let's talk about Mr. Xu Jinio. It just so happens that Mr. Jinio and I are also friends offline. Oh, my friend. The host smiled heavily and deliberately brought up the topic. So it seems that you are old acquaintances. Xu Jinio squeezed her lips and smiled elegantly. She only knew each other after cooperating with Mr. Gu before. The host stopped asking questions, but turned to She's Hixing. Miss Xu, it's your turn. Who do you choose? There are 5 pairs in this program, a total of 10 people. The remaining long-term couples in the secret circle came up to create the effect of the program. In addition, there are 3 men left. Qing Yuaos, a sales manager with an annual salary of millions, a second-generation through with a rich family. First of all, Qing Yao's is excluded. The one-night stand is over, and there is no need to get involved. She's Hixing smiled faintly and looked at the sales manager. Mr. Zhou. Qing Yao's raised his eyebrows. Zhou Lei looked angry. He had already liked the innocent female star next to She's Hixing. Okay, how did Miss Xu choose me? Is it because when I introduced myself just now, I said that my annual salary was 1 million? Zhou Lei sneered unceremoniously. She's Hixing. She didn't listen. This reaction, which fell in Zhou Lei's eyes, made him more and more determined that She's Hixing came for his money. He smiled coldly. I'm sorry, Miss Xu, I'm a more straightforward person. A female star like you who has no acting skills and no works wears luxury bra and dress every day and goes to and from all kinds of high-end places. Needless to say, you know where the money comes from, right? Oh, then tell me where you came from. She's Hixing swept over him calmly, his beautiful eyes raised gently, with a little smile. Zhou Lei's eyes mocked. Of course. He is a man. Isn't it all your black material hammer on the internet these days? I don't know how many gold owners are behind people like you. Undiscussed malice and sarcasm are clearly put out. Xu Jinio secreto. Why curled the corners of her lips, realizing that this was in front of the camera, and put on a simple face of worry and fear. Do you know so well because you have done it yourself? She's Hixing's red lips were gently hooked. Zhou Lei laughed. Is Miss Xu angry? I'm just paraphrasing Miss Eo's. The gossip content should not be considered a rumor. Miss Xu, People like me won't associate with people like you. Today's words are also here. I won't date you. If I have to make an appointment, I will quit the program. Not to mention the director team present, even the audience in the live broadcast room. People are also stupid. The effects of the program. Unlike, how can there be a good start? Those black fans of She's Hikesing came to admire the fame one after another and collectively brushed the bullet screen. Someone also said she laughed so hard that she dared to ask which company Mr. Zhou was from. Speaking of this, Zhou is very proud. Rongwang is a foreign trade company, which is also one of the leading enterprises at home and abroad. Basically, as long as you say the name of the company, others will look at it with a look of admiration and envy. She's Hikesing nodded slowly and immediately came to the core system in his mind. Come out and acquire Rongwang. Okay, the system operates behind the scenes, and doesn't forget to warn She's Hikesing that your points are only left if you don't hit your face. Wait, I'll show you what it means to hit a swollen face and get fat. The system prompted that Rongwang company had been acquired, and She's Hikesing quickly issued a second order to fire Zhou. Isn't the annual salary of 1 million? It's like Gatsby's reincarnation. Very good. She's Hikesing turned his eyes back to Zhou, smiling. Rongwang, you have been fired. Zhou laughed out loud. Miss Xu is really good at joking. It's this time, and don't forget to pretend. Several guests looked at She's Hikesing with mockery. Only Qin Yao's was out of it, and a pair of deep and sharp black eyes looked at She's Hikesing without blinking for a moment. The bullet screen in the live broadcast room has been bloody. Haha, this Miss Sawyer who think her can fight the N%. S, such a big company is Rongwang. Listen to Sue's Hikesing. I'm $FR+E and she's not brain damaged. The first time I saw that he didn't leave the personnel department, and 18 line little star said it casually and fired him. This sister really made me laugh out loud. Miss Xu, I'll put it here. Today, either you leave or I leave. I hate to be with disgusting people like you. Before Zhou finished his cruel words, the mobile phone in his pocket rang. He picked it up subconsciously. Hello, general term for wheat, barley, oats, rye, etc. Caffeine was on the collar, and the voice on the other end of the phone else. Oh, quickly spread. Zhou, you made false remarks on public programs and maliciously slandered others, which greatly affected the image of our company. After the consideration of your superiors, you were fired today. The electronic resignation contract has been sent to your mobile phone. You must sign it before 6 o'clock today. Give a receipt. Zhou, come on, really? He looked at it in disbelievable and hung up the phone number. It was the official landline of their company, word for word. 感叹号. Zhou almost fainted in front of his eyes. With an annual salary of 1 million, he finally managed to do it. But because of these few words, it's gone. The bullet screen roared. $N. Cashing can't keep up with the speed of her ACQUISITION. How did she do it? Is it possible that her gold owner is guarding her live broadcast? Operate anytime and anywhere. Weekly asked. You have been arguing for so long. Who is She's Hikesing's gold owner? Who is so rich? It is also recorded directly under her name. This is a real 1.5 billion. Ding. The face hit is successful. The treasure chest has been opened, and you have obtained an office building in the Dido business circle under your name. Okay, it's useless. She's Hikesing didn't care about the electronic sound in his mind. At the studio scene, Zhou's face turned pale. He slapped himself suddenly, and the program team was dumbfounded. He quickly begged She's Hikesing for mercy. Miss Xu, I'm sorry, I don't know Mount Hai. I'm talking nonsense. Please forgive me. Laugh. Why don't you keep laughing? She's Hikesing looked at him lazily, and her bright red lips evoked a smile. She had the momentum of taking money and smashing people to death. She said lazily, if you don't admit your mistake, I can still look at you. Miss Xu. Zhou's face was full of smiles. Extremely flattering. Miss Xu, I was mean just now. Please let me go this time. I promise I won't do it again in the future. I will always support and protect you. Get out of here. She's Hikesing's red lips spit out lightly, and the end of her eyes were raised. These words were said by her, with a little carelessness, but it was particularly beautiful and thrilling. She sneered. I don't need it. No one dares to question her about this. The planning team below are all weakly looking at the director. She's Hikesing. The backstage is so hard. So is our script. Let's ignore the script for now. The director frowned. I haven't heard that She's Hikesing has a backstage before. He looked at Zhou, who was still crying and begging She's Hikesing, and his face turned black. He blasted Zhou out first. Affect the image of our program. Okay. The next second, Zhou was asked out. The host laughed a little unnaturally. Cough cough. Let's continue the program. Miss Xu has no partner. Can she be alone? We have already contacted other guests. She's Hikesing gently hooked his lips. Okay. In the dark, the eyes of Xu Jinao and Gu Huaishao stared at her like cold poisonous snakes. Qin Yao's was also divided into a female star as a partner in the program group. The female star looks innocent and has a positive and sunny, silly and sweet personality. When the other 4 groups of guests started dating, the program team looked at She's Hixing. What should she do? She's Hixing is squatting there and looking at a row of specialties. The specialties are rice noodles, mountain goods, fruits and so on of the plan to help farmers. The shopkeeper especially set up a sign, saying that this is a goods rack specially made by her to help the elderly in the deep mountains and rural areas. And these things are indeed out of logo for exquisite shopping malls. Is there anyone who knows the goods? What is this? She's Hixing pointed to something and asked about the bullet screen in the live broadcast room. Because it is a single-person live camera. He has a mobile phone that can watch bullet screens in real time. The bullet screen was in acres, and someone pointed out. After night long Snoopy fortunately, She's Hixing has a sharp eye, and she can still get paid for playing alone. She is in a good mood. Looking at the camera, come on, do you have the room manager? I want to draw a lottery. Let's draw 1,000 copies of each of these things. Not much. The number of people is set to eBay. 1,000 copies, not much. It can drown my CST $R plus is so rich and loving. Draw more lots. Love you. This is a plan to help farmers. I didn't expect She's Hixing to be quite caring. The one next to him looks delicious. How can I buy it? She's Hixing. This is simple. Room management. Connect. The room manager arranged by the program team. Sister, when your room manager is like doing e-commerce. She's Hixing walked into a fruit brand and drew eBay mobile phones, eBay laptops with the highest configuration, and eBay tablets. She's Hixing. She walked into a luxury brand and came on. 100 bags. If you have any in your store, draw a lottery. She's Hixing walked into a snack brand, took the same one, packed it into a box, asked for 1,000 boxes, and won a lottery. Chapter T. She is cheating. Bullet screen. Bullet screen is completely crazy. For a moment, there were only more than 1,000 people, even though black fans in the live broadcast room, and 30 million people poured into it. Several other live broadcast rooms are completely unpopular in this complete second kill comparison. All major platforms on the internet are swiping the screen, and She's Hixing has a Twitch. The black fans who thought she was sick online came to admire the fame, and saw She's Hixing's inhumane. Oh, netizens are really right. She went crazy by lottery. Ding, congratulations on the hit kill. The face hit successfully. The treasure chest has been opened. You get 300 million in cash. The mechanical electronic sound suddenly sounded in his mind, and She's Hixing couldn't help complaining. Damn it, her money is almost infinite. Why do you still spend money? Just in time, She's Hixing looked up and saw a public service advertisement playing on the big screen of the mall. He immediately found a place to settle down for the money and tripled the money he had just issued to donate to public welfare. Okay, the operation efficiency of the system is very high. Just as She's Hixing was walking around with the audience in the live broadcast room, her mobile phone called. She covered the microphone. Hello, Miss Xu. The people over there smiled enthusiastically. Our Angel Foundation has received your donation. Thank you for your contribution to the public welfare cause. We will deliver the donation certificate and thank you letter as soon as possible. Oh, okay. The bullet screen only saw that she was in a daze for a while and answered another phone call. They couldn't help but wonder what kind of phone call they couldn't listen to. Take them as outsiders. She's Hixing didn't watch the bullet screen. She hung up the phone, and the director's team happened to be shouting together. All the couples had already made an appointment. They came to a very tasteful and styled restaurant and sat in front of the sofa one by one, facing the camera. Yao, sit next to me. A gentle smile rose on Gu Huai's handsome face. He unscrewed the bottle of mineral water and handed it to Xu Jinao. Are you tired of shopping just now? Drink some water first. Thank you, Mr. Gu. Xu Jinao smiled shyly. The sofa was too small. She and Gu Huai's were next to each other and looked at each other ambiguously. The bullet screen shouted that he was so considerate that he stumbled. She's Hixing couldn't help sighing when he saw that they were crowded together, and then he and Qingyao's each enjoying a single sofa. Invincible, how lonely it is. Dear teachers, warm reminder, you need to prepare for today's dinner by yourself. The director team held a loudspeaker below and began to make it bad. Everyone exclaimed, the silly and sweet girl. Xing pretended to be surprised and covered his mouth. What should I do? I never know how to cook. I almost blew up the lid of the pot when I cooked instant noodles before. I can't. Xixing. Xu Jinao opened her mouth slowly, and a smile appeared on her beautiful little face. Since they can't do it, why don't we work together tonight so that everyone can have a meal? She's Hixing's cooking skills are not really poor. The silly and sweet female star may be setting up, but She's Hixing is not. She can stir, fry eggs and fried rice and add yogurt. What kind of pot lid takes off? It's all a small case. It's okay. She's Hixing smiled loosely and hooked the corners of his lips. Since Xu Jinao wanted to step on it, she didn't mind accompanying her. Great. Xu Jing'ao's face was full of innocent smiles. So I'll go and see what else is in the restaurant. However, when he officially began to cook, Xu Jing'ao ordered the dishes, began to wash and choose dishes. Xu Haixing still sat on the sofa, motionless. The bullet screen brushed the screen. Ruth Ink must perceive her miser but didn't eat it all of Bruce mother also for if we couldn't want to refuse. Just don't you? Yeo kindly gave Xu Haixing a K at $, R plus $. But this fool is still not grateful. Her on a surface mom leader Ruth Ink good of her the bullet screen is cursing wildly, and Xu Haixing is piling up Tetris intently. At mealtime, Xu Jing'ao was still busy and didn't finish it. Even if several other male and female stars were helping, she was getting more and more helpful. Everyone was so hungry that the rich second generation asked Xu Jing'ao, "Isn't it better?" Immediately. As a result, Bai Tian, who was kind enough to help, took the pot and wanted to pour the dishes on the plate. Suddenly, her hand slipped and the dishes were scattered all over the ground. "I'm sorry, Sister Jing'ao. I didn't mean it." Silly and sweet with an apologetic face, Hu has snorted coldly. "You don't need to apologize. What you need to apologize is the person sitting over there who doesn't help at all." This sentence scolded two people. Xu Haixing and Qing Yao's on the opposite side looked at each other and looked away silently. Inverted her grunter embittered her $. People like Xu Haixing are so disgusting. If you have the ability, don't eat the food cooked by Yao late. Haha her grunter isn't free whose voice street would in peace whom great hot her wilder finisher oil mert oil to beaver her lobiter. Xu Haixing brushed the bullet screen on the screen and looked down at the time. 6:30, just in time for her meal. Ding, the doorbell of the restaurant door rang, and a man in a five-star restaurant uniform pushed an exquisite dining car in. "Hello, is this the recording location of the Heartbeat Diary program? This is the delivery service ordered by Miss Xu Haixing. Please take your time." The service staff smiled slightly, looked at the empty table, and began to serve the dinner plate meticulously. Salted fish juice button lining ginseng, gold medal milk pigeon emperor, dry fried silver cut, Miji Daming shrimp, Thai-style frozen crab, cream mushroom soup. The domineering aroma overflows, stimulating everyone's taste buds. Every time it's the same, there are unknown people swallowing saliva. The bullet screen that was still cursing just now fell silent. The people present were also silent. Silly, Bai Tian eyes widened. Can he still play like this? Xu Jing'ao hated it so much that her nails were pinched into the palm of her hand. She is holding another dish that has just been stir-fried. I take mushroom chicken, but compared with the dishes produced by the colorful and fragrant five-star chef on the table, she is simply miserable. Let's have a meal. Xu Haixing opened his mouth lazily, walked straight to pull away the opened the tabloid provided by the five-star hotel, and began to enjoy it slowly. She was the first to move her chopsticks. Qing Yao raised his eyebrows, said not a word, spread her long legs, and walked over to eat together. Silly Bai Tian swallowed a mouthful of saliva clearly. She didn't fight and went straight to eat. The rich second generation and the couple group, the enchanting little internet celebrity amateur followed. At this time, only Xu Jing'ao and Hu Huaishao are left. Director, she is cheating. Hu Huaishao stood up to speak for Xu Jing'ao with a calm face. The director's team fought for 3 seconds. These 3 seconds were the torture of Xu Haixing's money. He admitted defeat. "No, I just said that you need to prepare dinner by yourself." There was a bullet screen that reacted. We, Xing, only said $, for plus that we should work together to make everyone eat. One who scolded us $, for plus get out and apologize. Why are there so many sailors invited by Xu Haixing? It's so annoying. Even if you order a meal, can't you tell our Yao in advance? Deliberately make our Yao tired and make a fool of ourselves. Brother Huaishao, Xu Jing'ao is so pitiful, pulled Huaishao's sleeve, and his eyes were full of water. "It's okay, it doesn't matter, I'll eat it myself." And me, chapter you are just her cheating junior. Huaishao led Xu Jing'ao to the table with great spirit and patted the mushroom chicken on the table. "You cook so deliciously, but they don't eat it. It's their unlucky. I'll eat it. Mr. Gu, you are so kind." Xu Haixing's eyes are too lazy to give one of these two people. And also I take mushrooms and chicken. She thinks it's a big deal in the world. Hu Huaishao took the first bite, and his desire for survival made him want to vomit. But he suppressed it with reason and took the second bite. He finished the plate like a dish, and did not forget to praise Xu Jing'ao. A bullet screen directly high life and death. After dinner, everyone sat on the sofa again. "Okay, teachers, the good day is over. Finally, it's the voting session. Please vote for your most excited guest." Warm reminder, today's ballot will affect tomorrow's partner. Under the arrangement of the director's team, everyone holds a sign with a name. Count to 3 and turn around at the same time. Xu Haixing, 2 votes. The director's team looked at the smiling Xu Haixing. She held her name in her hand, and the other one. They couldn't afford to provoke Qing Yao. Qing Yao raised his eyebrows, and a pair of cold and deep eyes turned to Xu Haixing. The two looked at each other across the air, and Xu Haixing looked away as if nothing had happened. However, this eye fell into Gu Huai's house eyes, that is, Mingxiu Plank Road, Dark Chencang. Just in the middle break, the director team was ready to distribute boxed lunches, and several guests present were also going to take a break and make up. At this time, Gu Huai's house suddenly stood up, just when everyone didn't know why. He coldly swept to Qin Yu's. Mr. Qin, don't you know that she is in love with me? You are just the third girl she cheated on. This sentence is undoubtedly hitting Qin Yu's in the face. A trace of coldness flashed on the man's handsome face, and his sharp eyes looked directly at Gu Huai's how indifferently. Cheating, Mr. Gu, are you sure? What Qin Yao is most unaccustomed to is the act of slandering others and turning black and white upside down. What's more, Qin Yao's eyes were darkly dangerous, cold and unacceptable. How do I remember that you cheated on Xu Jing'ai first? I was not the only one who saw the intimate photos of the auction that day. The guests silently stopped walking out. Then you will be together first. Didn't you live together that day? Gu Huai's how can't stand the face. It was you who intervened first, and then I dumped her. Qin Yao hooked his lips coldly. Mr. Gu, you need to bear legal responsibility for saying this. After all, the man's eyes shifted to Xu Haixing, and his eyes were dark. Miss Xu and I met for the first time that night. Xu Haixing raised his eyebrows. Qin Yao's, how can you speak for her? Xu Jing'ai on the side blushed and pulled Gu Huai's house sleeve. If it goes on, their affairs will be exposed. But Gu Huai's house was still in anger. He opened his mouth and was about to slander him again when he saw Xu Haixing lazily hooking his lips, stepping on his small high heels, and shaking his mobile phone. I recorded it. Gu Huai's house, are you sure you want to continue? With a sneer on her face, I don't mind asking you to sit on the dock. Gu Huai's how clenched his fists. He glared at Xu Haixing and Qin Yao fiercely, and finally left here under Xu Jing'ai's gentle persuasion. The rest of the guests looked at each other with gossip, which was so powerful. Qin Yao's. Xu Haixing avoided the crowd and walked to him. She didn't know what her slender white fingers were sandwiching. She lazily hooked the corners of her lips and handed them to him. She behaved well. If I still need it next time, I will contact you again. The business card was stuffed into his palm. The warm temperature of the fingers crossed, fleeting, and the card in his hand was hard. Qin Yao looked at her charming back and looked down. It turned out to be a business card with her private number on it. Qin Yao's face turned black. He wanted to go to the trash can and throw it away, but his fingertips suddenly stopped. An unclear look flashed in his eyes, and for a moment, the business card ghost returned to his hand. After an rest, the guests put back on the camera and microphone, and the cameraman also began to follow one by one. Oh, by the way, Mr. Gu bought me a lot of lipstick today. Xu Jing'ai looked at Gu Huai's house shyly, and then smiled and asked the assistant to bring up those famous brand lipsticks. She said coquettishly. She blamed Mr. G. If she wanted to contract the whole store to give it to me, I couldn't use it alone. Just in time, everyone helped. A set of famous brand lipsticks were arranged, and Xu Jing'ai sent them one by one. Wow, Jing'ai, Mr. Gu is very good to you. Silly, white and sweet immediately cheered. In fact, everyone is a star. What have you never seen? But this is a live broadcast, so I picked it up with a smile. Xu Jing'ai took an old-looking collar and walked to Xu Haixing with a smile. Haixing, this is spicy. I like chosen for you. With your appearance, it will definitely look better after painting. Hand me the lipstick. No need for this. Xu Haixing hooked his lips and refused. I don't like it. Everyone has collected it. You should also take it. Xu Jing'ai smiled and looked at her with a little uneasiness. Do you dislike me? At this moment, there was another movement at the gate. A row of neatly dressed staff pushed a row of carts in, smiling enthusiastically. Miss Xu Haixing, these are the skincare products, cosmetics and bags and jewelry you ordered in our brand. Oh, push it over. Xu Haixing got up and ignored the lipstick hanging in the air. I bought a little too much today, but the delivery here is a little far from my house. I just gave it to everyone. If you like it, choose it. This is a well-known luxury brand. Celebration screamed from the bottom of her heart. Although she is a second-tier star, she can't buy more than 2 bags of this brand a month. If it's more expensive, you can only buy one in 3 or 4 months. A smile appeared on her face. Thank you, Sisters Haixing. I'm going to choose. She was generous, and naturally other people followed her. No one paid attention to Xu Jing'ai's lipstick, and was even thrown on the table casually. She looked at Xu Haixing's back, and a strong hatred flashed in her eyes. The bullet screen is numb. She's hixing is so disgusting. Isn't it because these people are big stars and rich people who deliberately letter with things? Easy Thomas in difficulty in customer while is our world internship nerd power in car service in R plus IL%. Life. Seeing that the guests had finished selecting, she's hixing smiled slightly and turned to the staff present. Those who saw it had a share. Come up and choose. Those who can't finish, the lottery will be given away. The staff cheered. Chapter 2. Not sharing a room with a mad dog. Many big stars are actually relatively generous, but it is also limited to invited afternoon tea or dinner, etc. Like she's hixing, hundreds of thousands of bags, tens of thousands of skincare products. That's really very rare. Now everyone can't care about the image. The director has to stare at the picture of the machine, and can only ask the little assistant to grab 2 sets for his wife first. The whole group has been selected, and there are still a lot of people left. She's hixing's live broadcast room poured into a large wave of lottery fans. In the dark, Shi Jinio gritted her teeth. Her eyes looked weakly at the equally angry Hu is how. Brother Hu is how. Sister, where on earth did she get so much money? Didn't you say that the Shi family only gave her 1 million? These things are more than millions. Hu is how's eyes are hot. And there must be ghosts among them. Is there really so? Nothing big on the list. The two looked at each other and made up their minds to find out the source of she's hixing's money today. The day after Heartbeat Diary, the whole crew arrived at a shabby welfare home to send warmth to the children in the orphanage. The content of today's date is to do public welfare together. The director's team held the loudspeaker, and we held some activities in conjunction with the welfare home. Everyone can participate selectively. Hu is how and Shi Jinio are still in a group, and she's hixing, because he was selected by Qingyao's yesterday. The program team deliberately arranged groups of 2 for the sake of something to see. Silly and Sweet and the rich second generation are together, and the couple group is still the same. Now only the enchanting little internet celebrity is left. She chose Qingyao's yesterday. She was full of joy that she could finally get in touch with this mist. Ariel's prince today. But Qingyao's didn't even look at her. Suning An could only stand alone. She stared at she's hixing secretly with dissatisfaction. Qingyao's and she's hixing chose the activity of sending new school bags, new stationery and other living materials to the children. The venue was not large, and each group was very close to each other. When they began to distribute neatly and orderly, Hu is how, who was delivering new clothes to the children, suddenly opened his mouth to the camera. Leisurely, Jinio, I remember that you have donated 20 rural primary schools before. Shi Jinio pursed her lips shyly. This is just a hand-raising effort, which is not worth mentioning. Wow, Sister Yao, you are so enthusiastic about public welfare. Silly, White and Sweet actively cheered. 20 primary schools are not a small number. You are so kind. I only donated materials in disaster relief before. The rich second generation looked at she's hixing. You are so rich. What public welfare age have you done? Everyone's eyes suddenly fell on she's hixing. The bullet screen kills crazy. $CST$R plus is money is a large amount of money. How can it be donated? Laut von Skirt Hut of Terriver Bert last were hink Mustafa Tner Kublit were fire Palchon Ternov Winbert cross with her Husner Verber Hut he hinks number in her preview list of not even seen her enter time merged into joy for you don't believe it. Check it yourself. I remember that Miss she was quite poor before. Did. And the rough dress for 30 years still be on the hot search. The little internet celebrity Suning and laughed mockingly. Her contemptuous eyes are not has slipped past she's hixing with concealment. At that time, he was so poor that he must not have done public welfare. Maybe he had to donate it to others. She's hixing raised the corners of his lips lazily. Would you like to donate some to me? When the words fell, several people outside the door came over with a pile of things in their arms. When they saw she's hixing, their eyes lit up. Miss Shi, you didn't leave the address. We can only follow this crew all the way. I hope you don't feel offended. Those female staff members sent donation certificates and thank you letters with a smile. Miss Shi's hixing, thank you for donating 900 million yuan to UNICEF. We will list the flow of this money in detail, and please supervise it together on the internet. Thank you for your contribution to the cause of public welfare. 900 million. Donation. Everyone present is messy, and the bullet screen is almost the same. Do these sisters donate is this a $CST$R plus. I'm hungry. Donate to me. Not her don't not nearly not will real his her is Singapore dollars. DNCS that if you want to find the gold owner of GCHIXING, go to the Global Forbes rich list to find it. Silly and Sweet exclaimed. Wow, I really didn't donate much, just a little money. She's hixing smiled at Suning An. Suddenly, Suning blushed and turned pale, which looked like a color plate. Ding. Congratulations on the success of hitting the face. The treasure chest has been opened, the charm value is 加5, and the buff has been obtained. The late return, late retribution, what the hell? Before Xu Haixing came up with a reason, the female star in the underground couple suddenly came over with her mobile phone. Haixing, I didn't expect you to do so many good things. You have been hiding it and not saying it. Xu Haixing was at a loss. Silly and sweet also screamed, Sisters Haixing, you will be my god in the future. Countless bullet scrolling screens were hit in front of Xu Haixing, and the water on it was full of praise. Eaters devoid hot wood in girl loyal verse public were authority to lose her $sign a big star before. That time, I lost money and couldn't afford to buy a ticket to go home. Xu Haixing happened to buy it for me and gave me hundreds of yuan to buy something to eat and go home early. Xu Haixing also volunteered with me in the welfare home. She doesn't have the right of a big star at all. Children call her teacher Xu. She likes her very much. If you don't believe it, you can go to my homepage to look up photos from 2 years ago. I didn't know that she was a big star until later. I finally found her. Before, my grandmother crossed the road. At that time, I was not in good health and had a wheelchair. It was difficult to travel. Sister Xu Haixing helped my grandmother go there, and she also pushed me back. Countless and all kinds of small things have all jumped out. And without exception, these users who sent bullet screens are all people who have really used the live broadcast software for a long time, not the sailors. Xu Haixing is a little embarrassed. Those things were indeed done by her. But how could she even help grandma cross the road? Thank you for your continuous support. Xu Haixing is a little embarrassed, but he is absolutely righteous. I will also set an example in the future, do more good deeds, and be enthusiastic about public welfare. I didn't expect you to be such a good person. The rich second generation took a look at Xu Haixing. Before entering the variety show, he had heard a lot of negative news about Xu Haixing. But now, oh, woman, you are so special. You have successfully aroused my interest. Sisters Haixing, you are so low-key. Come over with a silly and sweet smile. You are really a role model in our entertainment industry. I want to learn from you. The woman in the previous couple group also winked at her. Haixing, why don't you dump Qingyu's? How about our group tomorrow? Anyway, there is no regulation that two girls can't be in a group. Everyone praised Xu Haixing, and unconsciously squeezed Qingyu's aside. His eyes condensed for a moment and he looked at Xu Haixing, who was surrounded by the stars like the moon. He stood on the edge, with a faint trace of disblackness. Only Gu Huaishao and Xu Jinao are left, and both of them look bad. Gu Huaishao couldn't help but be angry. She even donated 900 million yuan casually. Could it be that she had no money? When he was with him before, he pretended to be poor and rustic, which was simply a lie to him. Xu Jinao looked at the crowd and did not take her eyes off Xu Jinao. She was so angry that she pinched her hands. Originally, today's scheme should be hers. She hates it secretly. Xu Haixing didn't know about these psychological activities. In the hardware, Ming guest voting that night, Xu Haixing received a total of 5 votes, one of which was her own, and the other was her old friend, Qin Yuao's. During the halftime break, Gu Huaishao specially avoided the camera and found Xu Haixing alone. When you fell in love with me before, did you deliberately pretend to be poor to deceive me and dress up so rustic? Gu Huaishao asked loudly with a little anger between his eyebrows. Xu Haixing thought he was going to do something, but that's it. He immediately smiled and said, yes, why did you lie to me? 问号, didn't you say you love me the most? Gu Huaishao gritted his teeth. Oh, that's also a lie to you. Xu Haixing hooked his lips lazily, and the end of his eyes was a little careless. It was just a pastime when he was bored. Don't think too much. Xu Haixing, Gu Huaishao shouted angrily, but it was useless. Xu Haixing didn't bother to look at him and turned around and left. Her principle is not to share a room with a mad dog. Xu Haixing planned to go back to the lounge slowly, but he didn't expect to hear a familiar female voice as soon as he took 2 steps. Mr. Qin, this is your cufflink. I'll give it back to you. Qin Yuao's. Xu Haixing narrowed his eyes and saw Su Yining handing over a shiny gem cufflink, which was worth a lot at a glance. Under what circumstances will the cufflinks fall off? She happened to be picked up again. Xu Haixing's brain is spinning fast. Can she eat this melon? Chapter 10. After sleeping, Mr. Qin was still shy. Qin Yu's eyes fell on the shining gem cuff, opened his mouth coldly, and threw it away. Su Yining didn't expect that he would say this. He was stunned, but this cuff, before the words were stone, Qin Yu's raised his eyes. Those deep and cold eyes fell on Su Yining's face, shocking her and making her speechless. I'm going to throw it away. Su Yining clenched her cuffs and almost ran away. Seeing this scene, Xu Haixing raised his eyebrows. The heroine has left, and it's not interesting. Before he could step on his legs, Qin Yao's voice came faintly. Miss Xu. She turned around and raised her hand to shake at him. I would pretend that I didn't see anything. Qin Yao said lightly. I met her in the garden in the afternoon. The burden fell off because the quality of the clothes was not good. Xu Haixing shrugged his shoulders. There is no selling in tiles of silver here. Qin Yao's. She smiled slyly. There may be cameras hidden everywhere here. You should be careful. Facing Xu Haixing is advice and thinking of Su Yining's rhetoric. Qin Yao's eyes sank slightly. At the end of the break, all the guests returned to the recording site. Xu Haixing sat with Qin Yao's, one with a slight smile on his face and the other as cold as ice. Oh my god, WT kind of fairy CP is this? They look very compatible. Okay, host turn over truer hurry Gerner number It's obvious that the man doesn't want to be inky. His same group with Xu Haixing at all. Okay, don't yell at Xu Haixing's brain-damaged fans. There is a mobile phone in front of each pair, and everyone can see the floating bullet screen. No matter what Xu Haixing saw, he smiled slightly and was calm. Xu Jinio on the other side is not so calm. Hu Huaishao held her hand and comforted her softly. Don't worry, I'll let her taste the pain later. Xu Jinio looked at him with full eyes. Or she didn't want it. Don't worry, the more kind you are to HR, the more she thinks you are easy to handle. Hu Huaishao patted the back of her hand, signaling that she didn't care anymore. The host looked back at the director and didn't expect Xu Haixing to be the focus. The director nodded to him and started shooting. Before that, the script. The host could only continue stubbornly. Before going to bed tonight, we will play a game to consume the physical strength of the guests and help you sleep better. Physical game. Will it be tiring? The silly A&D sweet female star asked with a smile, and several people beside her also joined the discussion. Xu Jinio suddenly said, Haixing, you are so thin. Can you support your physical strength when you play games later? The bullet screen floated by. You don't want to drag your teammates down, do you? It hinked her star small Singapore dollars. PR plus and ice us. Don't was with her. Their team must be the lost. Xu Haixing raised his eyelids and smiled slightly. Do you want to say that if I win, you will see that I am weak? If I lose, it's my fault that I'm weak. So our team lost. She paused and looked at Xu Jinio. She told me to finish everything. So do I still want to participate in the game? Xu Jinio frowned and looked innocent. I just care about you, Haixing. You are too sensitive. Xu Haixing hooked the corners of his lips coldly and asked the director team. Do you know that Xu Jinio has mild asthma? What if she has an attack while playing games? Is the medical team ready? The director team was stunned. Xu Jinio insisted on the game with Leonis, just in order not to drag down her teammates to form a sharp contrast with Xu Haixing. This will be a point of the variety show live broadcast and will also arouse heated discussion among netizens. This program will definitely be popular at that time. Now their arrangement has been exposed by Xu Haixing. In order not to affect the shooting, the director quickly weighed the pros and cons to give an answer. Does Nio have asthma? We don't know about this. The director gave a color to the assistant next to him, and the assistant quickly said, Mr. Xu is too dedicated. Xu Jinio's coffee position is beyond the reach of several female guests present, so the words of the slacking horse scrambled to come out of their mouths. Only Xu Haixing spoke lightly. Now that you know, don't let her play again. Asthma attacks are very serious. It is impossible not to let Xu Jinio play. She was originally a big point in he program. Moreover, Xu Jinio's agent gave the director a lot of money just to use the program to win the favor of the people. To make her end, it is to offend the Xu family and support behind Xu Jinio. The executive director's attitude changed. Haixing is right. Jinio should have a rest. He looked at Xu Jinio, and Xu Jinio read his eyes. My asthma has been controlled for a long time. It's just a game. I can finish it well. Don't delay the progress of this link because of me. Hu Huaishao LSO said. Yao Yao usually loves sports, so let her try it. If there is any problem, I will stop immediately and don't let anything happen to her. The director looked at Xu Haixing with an inquiring face. It became as if she did not allow Xu Jinio to participate, and there were already a lot of comments on the bullet screen. If Xu Jinio had an accident because of asthma, Xu Haixing nodded and agreed that he would still be a singer. She doesn't smile. If you must stick to it, don't blame me for not reminding you. Anyway, I will let their group. After all, winning or losing the game is a small matter, but health is a big deal. Xu Haixing reversed the situation of public opinion, and the rest of the guests joined in. Yo, don't fight like this. My $CST $R+ is so heartbroken. KMF $R+ T $B L% pure passers-by. It's really comfortable to see Xu Jinio being fighted. She looks very pretended. If you are sick, you still insist on the field. If you get sick later, it will delay the war. RK progress. Xu Jinio saw the bullet screen clearly. There was no content of insulting Xu Haixing. On the contrary, it was mostly Yin and Yang herself. which made her secretly pinch into the palm of her hand. The game will start in teams soon. A group of enchanting female internet celebrities and a female staff member are in a group, and the rest of the team members remain unchanged. The rules of the game are that the male and female players each tie one hand together to complete the obstacle race. Which group takes the shortest time is the winner. Several groups are cheering each other up, but the painting style of Xu Haixing and Qin Yao's is strange. The staff of the director's team tied their wrists together with an elastic rope, but the width in the gap between their wrists could put a fist. Isn't it the star sister chosen by Qin Yao's on her own initiative? How? Arc scene, how can your F at Millie is steamed food be chosen? Being disliked is the truth. Sisters Haixing, Mr. Qin, this won't work. The staff is a young girl. Seeing that the other groups are ready, they are in a hurry. Xu Haixing glanced at Qin Yao's and directly grabbed his broad and warm palm to tie him up. After sleeping, Mr. Qin is still shy. After the little girl quickly completed the task and left, she lowered her voice and asked with a smile, unexpectedly, as the words fell, the man's hand squeezed her tightly in the palm of his hand. Don't beg me to let go. Chapter 3. If you don't agree, the person will collapse. Xu Haixing doesn't care much. Hold his hand and don't let me loose, or you will be unlucky. The corners of Qin Yao's smile twitched, and Miss Xu had a strong desire to win or lose. She pointed to the sign in the coach's hand. It was a reward. If you knew what it was, you also wanted to win. What is that? Xu Haixing seemed to smile. Cannot. Flying in pairs. When the words fell, the host whistled. Qin Yao's was dragged out by Xu Haixing before he could react. The first game is very simple, but one hand is tied and can't move wildly. Xu Haixing's legs and feet are sharp, but the man behind him is a little dragging his legs. Fortunately, Qin Yao's reacted and kept up with her pace. The two people without tacit understanding were the first to complete the task, only leaving Xu Jinao and Gu Huaishao, who were in second place. 4 are a few if I'm not mistaken just now. $R plus Xing directly dragged Qin Yao's to run. Is this the legendary small strength? I love you. $R plus Xing is powerful. In his low thermal worst task loiger turned on sound first he firms burn task customer $R plus Xing. But it's enough to hit everyone in the face. The bullet screen is full of praise for Xu Haixing, and a few words are praising the other actresses for their cuteness and hard work. But Xu Jinao, as a moderate performance, does not pay so much attention. When she turned around, she glanced at Xu Haixing resentfully. Unexpectedly, Xu Haixing didn't care that he had become the focus of the live broadcast at all. He was frowning and talking to Qin Yao's. What's the matter, Mr. Qin? You have a lot of muscles on your body. It's just a touch. Can it actually work as a starting point? Xu Haixing looked at him up and down, ignoring Qin Yao's extreme face of the underworld. Now, we need to make the second game more difficult. The host asked the legs of several teams of guests to be tied together, which brought the distance between the two people much closer. Xu Jinao didn't stand firmly. Gu Huaishao grabbed her hand, which made her blush shyly. The bullet screen screamed and said that they were full of CP sense, and the other 2 or 3 pairs were also actively interacting. Only Xu Haixing was still replaying Qin Yao's. Just now, you were too slow, and we didn't have a tacit understanding. Remember to use your left leg first. That is, your right leg. Her behavior has attracted a lot of attention. What exactly is the award? How does Xu Haixing know what the award is? I'm so curious. Her sisters are talking on WTAW flight. The dirty brain is full of dirty things. Qin Yao's glanced at the bullet screen and turned his eyes slightly. The woman beside her has a beautiful face. And her rosy and delicate lips are turning quickly because of her speech. What impressed him most that night seemed to be his lips. Do you understand? Seeing that he was distracted, Xu Haixing pulled his sleeves. Qin Yao squeezed out the word from his throat. The game begins. With a command, 2 groups have fallen on the starting line. Gu Huaishao held Xu Jinao's hand tightly. Don't be afraid. I will protect you and walk boldly. They have a tacit understanding. Whether they cross obstacle is or flat ground, they move very fast. Kishi would be caught under the squeaking nest by Qin Yao's at this time. The Reds won. Xu Jinao and Gu Huaishao have not yet reached half of the track, and the referee director has announced the winning group. Xu Haixing was put down by Qin Yao's, so that he had time to tidy up his clothes. Director, can you announce what the prize is now? She still remembers that Xu Jinao and Gu Huaishao won the championship in the original book and was recorded by a double flight to Europe on the 14th. It's said to be recording, but it's actually playing. Xu Jinao also became popular with this part. Xu Haixing doesn't necessarily want to be popular, but it's true that he wants to steal the grand prize and reject the inside story. The director scratched his ears and cheeks. We waited until all the teams finished the competition to announce it. She smiled faintly. Didn't the rules of the game just say, as long as you win the first place, you can win the prize now? There is no need to waste everyone's time. How could Xu Haixing not know that they wanted to take the opportunity to exchange an award? She untied the elastic rope, walked to the director, and dragged the board he was holding tightly in his hand. Is this an award above? No, Xu Haixing is very strong. She turned the board to the live camera with a light smile. Mr. Qin, we won the big prize. When the words fell, an exclamation came from the middle of the field. YAO fainted. Xu Jinao fainted. And the recording of the 14 Day 2-person tour in Europe could not be realized. The recording was suspended. Xu Haixing was about to go back to the room, but Hu Aisha blocked her way. Haixing, YAO has asthma. You know that. She worked hard to win the grand prize. Can you give this award to her? Aren't kidnapped too morally. Hu Aisha's face changed, lowered his voice, and there was a hidden camera. If you don't agree, the character will collapse. She said, oh, what kind of person am I? Seeing this, Hu Aisha gritted his teeth and said gently, if you can give this award to everyone, I can team up with you once. What? Xu Haixing's face is surprised. He was successful. The treasure chest has been opened, and the force value is 加10. There is nothing new. Xu Haixing turned around and left, leaving Hu Aisha standing in place with the corners of his mouth twitching. Why is this woman completely different? Xu Jinao woke up and stretched out her arm to call Hu Aisha. The people around her dispersed and waited for Hu Aisha to come over. Forget it. Since my sister needs that award so much, give it to her. 4 or 2,000 jins. Words changed the situation of the bullet screen. Why is our YAO so kind? She also deliberately let Xu Haixing just away. $. Are you fainted yourself? She got the first place thanks to her hard work and gave it to her. Her is a dark burner. Hu Aisha looked at her distressedly and nodded. Okay, I'll take you to Europe after the program is over. The two people here have a deep relationship with each other. Su Ying on the other side suddenly said, why don't you let Yao Yaoji eat better and compare with Haixing again? Just now, Sister YAO fell behind because she was sick. On Xu Haixing's side, the system issued an alarm. Your hatred value is skyrocketing. Chapter 12. The hatred value is about to explode. Hatred value? What are you doing? Xu Haixing clicked to open the game and heard the system say, the higher the hatred value, the richer the reward you get for successfully hitting the face. Where does the hatred value come from? System, you can watch the live broadcast. Xu Haixing opened his eyes and raised his eyebrows gently. The bullet screen in the live broadcast room is full of abusive remarks. It turns out that the hate value set by the system comes from here. She doesn't care at all. Let the bullet fly a little longer. The more understanding Xu Jinao behaves downstairs, the higher the hatred value on Xu Haixing's head. The hatred value is about to explode. After the system prompted this sentence, Xu Haixing's me was just over. Then go to clear the hatred value. The recording is over, but the hidden camera is not turned off. It doesn't matter whether this is the mind of the director's team or Xu Jinao's meaning. Xu Haixing went downstairs and walked to Xu Jinao, who was still surrounded by everyone's attention. After thinking about it, I'd better give you this opportunity. Hu Aisha was worried of her. You didn't agree just now, and now you suddenly came to talk about this matter. What do you mean? 大姐弟, oh, you want to guide your fans to abuse YAO. Xu Haixing smiled. Isn't this your trick just now? I was scolded for watching the bullet screen, so I went downstairs to give up the grand prize. Isn't it okay? The silly and sweet actress can't look at it. Sisters Haixing, you worked hard to get the first place just now. Anyway, we have to record a 2-person tour in Europe. Why don't we make suggestions to the director team and go together? She will never be disgusted when she says such words. And there are even people who agree. But the director doesn't seem to want to agree to the request of the silly and sweet actress. Originally, it was a shooting content prepared separately for Xu Jinao, and the game was launched only for fairness. If everyone goes, what's special? No, if this is the case, won't the game rewards of our program be tempting in the future? After saying that, he looked at Xu Haixing, and the eyes hiding behind the live camera seemed to hurt her. Xu Haixing is instructing the system at this time. An additional investment of 3 billion yuan for this variety show is to customize the recording for all guests except Xu Jinao, which is a higher plan than the 10-day tour in Europe. The system responded, and in a few seconds, it said, it's done. You can slap your face to your heart's content. Xu Haixing nodded with satisfaction. The director's team would have a mistake and immediately said, Mr. Xu Haixing is willing to give up a 14-day tour of 2 people in EU. Road to YAO. There is still no good word for the bullet screen. It's under pursuers his kind of persons to her who it is good third person to taught her is you stop your cross. It's disgusting is the purpose of doing this to attract fans. I think she obviously doesn't want to come out. Xu Jinao's purpose has been achieved, and Xu Jinao's purpose has been achieved. Qing Yao's, who was leaning on the railing of the top floor, looked at what was happening below and was vaguely looking forward to what Xu Haixing wanted to do. Well, let's go back to the room and rest first. Yao will go back, and the doctor of the medical team will come soon. Wait a minute. Xu Haixing stopped everyone. I want to go to Antarctica to shoot a special recording. Should it be okay? Everyone was stunned. What is this sister crazy about? Didn't the director say it all just now? It's over. I always feel that our sister thing is going to end. Large move. Do you pay for it $$R plus self? The director frowned and said, well, that's all the funds of our variety show team. Before he finished speaking, a man rushed in and said loudly, yes, okay. Everyone recognized that this old man in his early 40s was the producer of this variety show. Everyone lowered their posture and was very polite. The executive director is no exception. Brother Liu, why are you here? Producer Brother Liu wiped the sweat on his forehead and said, turn off the hidden camera. Xu Haixing blocked. Don't turn it off. What does this mean? Sister Xing, don't talk to the producer. I spent so much money $$. Plus. I don't believe that Xu Haixing still has so much money to invest in variety shows. She must have slept with the producer. Counselor Plicker thought Brother Liu immediately said, then it won't be closed. Not to mention the audience in the live broadcast room. Everyone present was stunned. Qing Yao's immediately took out his mobile phone and checked some information. When he saw the name of the additional investor in this variety show, he finally couldn't stand it. A trace of surprise cracked on the perfect face, and he looked at Xu Haixing's deep eyes with more exploration. What other requirements does Mr. Xu have? The executive director's jaw is about to fall to the ground. Ask them who wants to go to Antarctica with me. Xu Haixing gently hooked the corners of his lips and sat on the sofa. If he doesn't want to go, he can choose his own place. Also, change the director. I don't like his way of working. $$ plus Xing has to participate. Brother Liu was stunned, and the executive director beside him couldn't stand. Brother Liu, what's going on? These people are all brought by me. If you listen to her to change me, I will have to take these people away. Xu Haixing laughed out loud. I'm just kidding. Everyone could see that Brother Liu, the producer of the audience, was the biggest. But he listened to Xu Haixing. Brother Liu laughed and patted the executive director on the back. Mr. Xu is joking. Don't worry. Seeing this, Su Yining walked to Xu Haixing. Sisters Haixing, I want to go to Antarctica with you. The silly and sweet actress also came over. Sisters Haixing, I also want to go. Several people took a stand one after another, leaving Xu Jinao and Gu Huaishao with strange faces. Xu Haixing asked the unconvinced director, 3 billion, can you make a special recording with only a few of us? If I can't, I will definitely change people. 3 billion. Everyone has the same expression, including Gu Huaishao. He stared wide-eyed and blurted out, where did you get so much money? Xu Haixing ignored it at all. After the executive director Mulan nodded, she smiled at the camera. Dear fans, go to bed early and look forward to seeing you in Antarctica. After staying here for a few days, she gained a little weight and had a little more flesh on her face than before. In this way, Xu Haixing's face looks more and more perfect. She was originally called a modeling face, but later she lost her previous beauty because she was too thin. BJUTF$L. It's so beautiful. This is plain. Oh, my god, sister, have a SX on me. It's 100,000,000 times more beautiful than Xu Jinao's technological face. Xu Haixing said goodbye and went upstairs, and Su Yining and others hurriedly followed. The hidden cameras were all turned off at this time. Xu Jinao looked at the grand prize board of European travel on the table and bit her lip and said nothing. Brother Liu left everyone except the executive director and closed the door. I can't help it. She gave too much. You didn't tell me that she was so rich before you came. The director's face turned pale and red. So did I offend her, uncle? Xu Jinao suddenly grabbed Brother Liu's arm, and all the stem was taken away by Xu Haixing. Chapter 13 I can't choose you. Liu Zhong frowned and couldn't help it. She gave too much. Yao, just bear with it. I will definitely edit the video of you and Huaishao in Europe in the later stage. At that time, you will definitely be very popular. Xu Jinao didn't want to, but Huaishao patted her on the shoulder and said, I will definitely ask her to return what she stole from you. At 10 o'clock in the evening, everyone went back to their rooms. Xu Haixing asked the system, isn't it enough to get a treasure chest or points just now? The system's electric sound stimulated her brain to hurt, which was enough. With a ding, the treasure chest has been opened. Congratulations on getting the prop Angel's Kiss, which can be used countless times, and the target is unlimited. What is Angel's Kiss? As the name implies, the system explains it is your kiss. Whoever gets your kiss will unconditionally love you and listen to you in everything. Xu Haixing raised his eyebrows. The price paid for getting a follower is a little high. Bang bang, there was a knock on the door of the room. She ignored it and turned off the table lamp. Sisters Haixing, have you slept yet? I have something to ask you. She's Hixing heard that the voice was a silly and sweet female star, but he still ignored it. That's right. I want to ask you about going to Antarctica to record the program. A series of footsteps sounded. She heard the silly and sweet actress asking the person. Sisters Hixing seems to be asleep. Why don't we ask her again tomorrow? So early. It seems that I didn't go to bed so early a few days ago. Do you want to find Mr. Qing? They seem to have a good relationship. No, Mr. Qing went to bed earlier. Like dozens of flies buzzing around her head, She's Hixing lifted the quilt and opened the door. She pointed to the wall clock in the corridor. 10 minutes. If you have any questions, ask me quickly, and don't quarrel with me in 10 minutes. In addition to the silly and sweet actress Yue Meng, the rich second-generation Zhou is also there. Su Ning stood at the end, staring at She's Hixing and was very hesitant to open his mouth. Yue Meng asked, are we joking about the trip to Antarctica? She's Hixing was speechless. No. Can we all go? Are there still special recordings? Yes. Sister Yao, and go with us. Yue Meng almost couldn't suppress the excitement and joy in his heart, and the corners of his mouth rose crazily. Does this mean? Before he finished speaking, Su Ning suddenly said, Sisters Hixing, will you still choose Mr. Qing tomorrow? She's Hixing looked at her and smiled slightly. It's 10 minutes. Don't bother me tonight. Zhou until her it's time to open her mouth. If Miss Xu wants to change the partner, I can choose with you. She raised her eyebrows slightly and stared at Yue Meng sideways. The little girl blinked her big eyes. Sister, I choose you too. She's Hixing drove away several people and turned around to go back to the room. He caught a glimpse of Qing Yao standing at the door of the room and looked at this side. Mr. Qing, what can I do for you? Qing Yao's slow voice came. Who will you choose tomorrow? Are you curious, or are you afraid that I won't choose you? She's Hixing leaned against the door and put his hands on his chest to look at him leisurely. Man's eyes are slightly dark, and I can choose you. She is happy. So do I have to thank Mr. Qing? Qing Yao is not a person who likes to joke, but the corners of his mouth are squeezed into an arc. His voice is gentle and his verbal thanks are not like Miss Xu's style. What does Mr. Qing want? You choose me. She's Hixing laughed out loud. So you thank me, okay? Qing Yao answered simply. What does Miss Xu want? I haven't thought about it yet. She yawned. Let's all eat first and exchange it when I think about it. The two turned around and entered the room. As soon as the door closed, Su Ning poked his head out and stared at She's Hixing's room with an angry face. Before going to bed, when she made a phone call, how do you feel? In just 2 days, your popularity has skyrocketed a lot. But there are too many people shouting at you on Weibo. The black voice on the other end of the phone came from the phone. She's Hixing put on a mask and shouted at them, for fear that they would not shout. When? My opinion is to arch the fire again. The higher the hatred value, the better I feel when I hit in the face. What are you talking about? When Persimmon gasped with anger, the black and red route is not so easy to walk, and the acting will be affected in the future. She didn't care and said, Persimmon, the projects I listed for you are up to you to talk about. But it doesn't matter if you don't come. I'll give you some money. During this period, you can relax and talk about work when I come back from Antarctica. No, when she was hung up and still digesting her words. What came back from Antarctica? The mobile phone shouted sweetly. Alipay has received 10 million yuan. When she looked confused, when he wanted to call back, She's Hixing sent a text message. We must learn early the next morning. The program team gave She's Hixing the Antarctic plan he had made on it. HT. She glanced at it and shook her head. Too low. Yue Meng and the couple took a closer look and couldn't help but stare. This 3-day trip to the Antarctic coastline, personal shooting of the mineral lake of Mount Clonia, the Antarctic camp station variety show, watching wild animals on Waddle Island, and watching the aurora. Zhou has been to Antarctica once, originally for the money that She's Hixing can afford. He can travel around the surrounding countries of Antarctica for 7 days most unexpectedly, he can go deep into the Antarctic camp station, and, if he is not mistaken, the funds invested by She's Hixing are enough for them to leave Antarctica from the Ross Sea and return to China from New Zealand and Australia for 7 days. Even if he is alone, I'm afraid it will cost 1.8 million yuan on this trip. And She's Hixing bears not only the cost of the rest of the guests except Hu Hao and Xu Jinio, but also the follow-up staff of the entire variety group. Zhou swallowed his saliva, looked at Xu Haixing, who was still disliked the plan, and subconsciously moved in her direction. Isn't falling in love with Xu Haixing more exposure to the company than finding a popular actress? What is it? I just watched the Antarctic tour route planned by the program team. They can meet the polar night and see the aurora in this season. Do you think this is too interesting? She herself is a local, and maybe she doesn't even know WT aurora is. Don't be too louse of your fans. If you have the ability, let your sister also pay for the whole group to travel. You will know the sour. Xu Haixing pointed to the itinerary from China to the South Pole and opened his mouth lightly. By the way, he went to Africa to record a wildlife special to send love to the medical team to help Africa. Isn't it good? The pattern is open. My $$R plus is awesome. Knew it. $$R plus Sing Sing must have a better one. My parents are helping Africa. If the program team can really agree, I will definitely mobilize everyone around me to watch this program. Chapter 14. Who is disgusted by pure love? The bullet screen floated by unexpectedly. Xu Jinai's hands were tightly clenched together, staring at Xu Haixing, who didn't care about this little money at all. If it hadn't been recorded by the camera, she might have been jealous and angry in her eyes. The director wiped the sweat off his forehead. In this way, I asked the planning department to replan the route. Today, let's start shooting first. The matter of going to Antarctica also has to be filmed at this venue. Xu Haixing nodded, like a big sister. From the beginning, she was targeted by the director's team. It was Xu Jinai who accompanied her, but in just 2 or 3 days, she directly became the only sister in the program team. Xu Haixing doesn't care about the attitude of these people falling on both sides like war grass. She just wants to do more tasks and open the treasure chest like a blind box. It's really interesting. After breakfast, 9 people were grouped according to yesterday's W selection. Xu Haixing became the C position. The program team specially arranged that she had to stand side by side with Xu Jinai. If you have money, you are wayward, you can directly become the protagonist FR plus M a small coffee shop. Otherwise, I checked that Xu Jinai has long cooperated with Liu Zhong, the producer of this variety show. She is still a resource cafe. Why doesn't anyone say about the bullet screen art? Plumber to his program. Today's activity is mainly about love. The program team has arranged very leisurely activities for several people, but before that, our groups of guests still need to play games to win your dating venues and projects today. In order to ensure the fairness of the game, we specially invited a guest to team up with an overnight last night, with the host. His voice falling. All the cameras shot towards the entrance. Liren is a popular boy group that has become popular in recent years, and he has taken the Wolf Milk Dog route. It can be seen that the live broadcast of the program has been popular only 3 days ago. Even the popular traffic can be invited, but it is Xu Jinai who stands in the C position with Xu Haixing. After greeting everyone, Li Feng, the traffic milk dog, naturally stood beside Su Ning'an. For an internet celebrity, teaming UP with a popular star also feels her regret that she failed to become a CP with the Invisible Prince. After the gathering, the live broadcast bullet screen is quite harmonious, and they are all praising their own master. The rule of the game is that each group of members has a blindfolded teammate. Under the guidance of teammates, whoever transports the balloon from the starting point to the finish line the most within the specified time is the winner. Well, next, the game You Are My Eyes will officially begin. The staff prepared to put blindfolds on each group of men, and the girls looked at their teammates shyly or ambiguously. Su Ning'an bit her lip. I'm not light. If you think it's heavy, let me down. Li Feng smiled politely. Sister Annan looked very thin. I'm 90斤. I'm so fat. The audience was speechless. So the bullet screen said everything. Are you still fat after 90 catches? She looks 1.68 meters, which is just right for the photo. Isn't she a skeleton in real life? Whose father time stars growing the mugger from Gunsper. He always in her old fitness seem to stroll over plus me and Ike. He is just a hobby. Her figure is a skeleton. So what is the master of your family? 90 catches. If the body FAT percentage is too low, menstruation will be irregular. Xu Haixing pursed his lips and looked at Qingyao's up and down. What is your body fat percentage? Qingyao's replied lightly, 8. Are you confident to win the first place? He raised his eyebrows and asked without answering, what is the price for the first place this time? Xu Haixing approached him and lowered his voice. The summer resort was ruined all day long. He didn't have to row a boat, climb a mountain, took a roller coaster, and enjoyed a 5-star hotel-style spa. How do you know? The bullet screen was also brushed up one after another. She knows this every time there must be an Insa and Ike story. Maybe Xu Haixing slept with the producer, and Qian Renren was invited to play the role of deliberately. It's hinted Marcus Censor, her wizard with all numbers, Xu Haixing ignored it and bit Qingyao's ear. Because of me. She smiled slyly and had the ability to make banknotes. You are much more pleasing to the eye than those male guests. How about Mr. Qing? Are you interested in making a fake play with me? Qingyao's breath was stagnant. The warm and fragrant gas hit his thin ears, and an electric current rushed all over his body. Xu Haixing is a beauty, even if the black people don't admit it. The men present, including Gu Huaishao, can't deny that her figure is uneven and convex. Her appearance is pure and lustful, which is men's favorite appearance. Qingyao's grabbed her wrist with a serious expression. Is Miss Xu having fun? She was slightly stunned, and then a smile bloomed on her beautiful face. I'm afraid that Mr. Qing won't play. Oh, my god, what are they talking about? The sense of CP is so full. Damn, an invisible tycoon flower of rich gale in this CP is simply not too easy to not her invisible toy. Notice your CST $R plus and the flower of GAOLING is Qing. Bullet screen suddenly surged and even the rest of the group looked over. Qing Yao's hasn't let go yet. Yue Meng looked up and not CP at close range, watching the stars in their eyes eject. Seeing this, the host laughed and joked that Haixing and Mr. Qing have a really good relationship. This time, they must be able to take the lead. Xu Jinao was unwilling to show weakness. She turned her head and pointed to the top of Gu Huai's house hair. She said softly, Mr. Gu, you have a leaf on your head. Her cheeks were red, and her slender fingers fell on the top of Gu Huai's house hair. The rhythmic fans in the live broadcast room immediately began to swipe the screen. Upper plus of CPs that are so natural, not as pretentious as a certain family seems. The pure love warrior fell to the GR, and in response to the sound, female goose, YAO female goose, so cute. He serves the burner over of fire topped her turning he Turner, preserves, covers her, Puntlers, steamers, wood curtains, burning front, hers. Xu Jinao calmed down when she saw the bullet screen. She tiptoed and pinched off the leaf on Gu Huai's house head, who lowered her head slightly. Gu Huai's house asked, can I collect this leaf? Oh, his word Perkler want to die, because you have. Dimmy take it down, I want to collect it for the rest of my life. No matter how much it is in the past, your body temperature and aroma will remain on a small leaf. WT kind of beautiful literature is this? KSWL. Xu Jinao nodded gently and completed the leap of emotional quality between their CPs in the crazy bullet screen. She's Haixing sneered. I don't know how many times I'm in bed, and I still have pure love here. Who is disgusting? She withdrew her hand from Qing Yao's hand and prepared for the game. Qing Yao's put on a blindfold and put her back on her back, muttering very lightly, what the hell? I'm 110 catties. She's Haixing's mouth sucked. I want to show your manly spirit and wait for our first place. The man hooks his lips and looks at your cooperation. Chapter 2. You should be hereditary asthma, right? 110 catties. No way. She's Haixing looks a little more fat than Suning An, but it's just right. He is not fat or thin, and he is very healthy. How can he be so heavy? $. For plus saying these stupid words, please look at your height. I just searched Sue's Haixing's official height is 1.71 meters $R plus Z, but Qing Yao's is 1.85 meters. The difference between the two does not look 14 centimeters, but less than 10 centimeters. The bullet screen began to discuss Xu Haixing's height and weight, which once again attracted almost all the attention of the audience. As the heroine, Xu Jinao failed to become the focus of attention. The popularity on the software even shows that she and Xu Haixing are almost the same. Brother Huo is how? Haixing must have done it on purpose. She knows how rare this love opportunity is for me, but she always wants to make a move that attracts everyone's attention. What did I do wrong? She lay on Gu Huo's house shoulder and spoke in a voice that only the two of them could hear. Before Gu Huo's house put on the blindfold, he glanced at Xu Haixing coldly. Don't be sad. I'll help you get it back. Xu Jinao bit her lip and didn't say anything. Her face was aggrieved, but her eyes outlined a sinister look. YAO, you smell so good. Gu Huo's house raised his voice, which did not make people feel intentional, but also attracted the audience's attention. Xu Jinao's cheeks are pink, aren't they? I didn't spray perfume. Maybe it's the smell of washing powder. No, the faint fragrance is the smell of your body. She shook her head and responded shyly. No way, since I was a child, people have said that I have a fragrance on my body. I thought it was the smell of washing powder used by my nanny. What kind of princess setting is this? She is naturally fragrant, gentle and well-born. I won't say who admires her unperturbed. She Chixingshitonnage is still petite and charming. Oh, let's start the game. It's so noisy. You fans, I'm just here to knock on your green grass CP. Xu Haixing didn't even look at the bullet screen. He lay in Qing Yao's ear and whispered to him about the rearranged micro-obstacle track. There is a foam obstacle at 3 o'clock, but you need to wipe the edge there, because there is a huge pot of plastic cactus opposite it. Further forward to return to the direction of 12 o'clock, and after 5 meters, there is a single wooden bridge. She described it very clearly, and Qing Yao's almost outlined the whole track in his head. So the game began, and his steps were calm and steady. Far ahead according to Xu Haixing's reminder. There are obstacles on the left. Be careful. Oh, no. You go to the right. Yes, yes, yes. My feet are hanging on the net. Go straight. The remaining 4 groups seem to be headless flies, turning desperately in place. Only the couple group of King Ko followed Xu Haixing's group and successfully moved forward slowly with the tacit understanding of many years of love. The program TM expected that it took 15 minutes to get out of the 15 meter track. It only took Xu Haixing 5 minutes when he was carried to the finish line by Qing Yao's. The second place in the couple group took 13 minutes. The remaining 3 groups are Xu Jinao's group for 18 minutes, and Yue Meng and Zhou Nan's group for 25 minutes. In the end, the remaining Suning An and Li Feng gave up the game in the end. The 2 people who were polite just now turned black in an instant. They stood together like TW. Oh homopole magnets. eager to exclude each other thousands of miles away. Xu Jinao felt uncomfortable and felt guilty. Mr. Gu, I was too bad at pointing in the direction just now. No, it's my bad sense of direction. It's not your fault. I thought that showing love could cause a sensation, but unexpectedly, the bullet screen was full of praise for the way Xu Haixing pointed out the direction just now. Sister Xingxing is very smart. The regulations are also very clear, and the logic is very smooth. In I user also has of dear plus egg, SM%, right? Handsome men should also praise him. He is so awesome. This per plus is really not as good as each other at first, and then they will be locked up directly. Okay, Xu Jinao couldn't stand it anymore. Every time she designed herself to be the protagonist, she was robbed of the light by Xu Haixing, so she repeated her old trick. Yao fainted. Again, several people gathered over to show their concern. Xu Haixing stood on the periphery and asked the director team, so will the two-day date between today and tomorrow continue? The executive director nodded and, of course, continued. The last one of Xu Jinao and others is going to climb a mountain or go to the amusement park for a date. The director looked embarrassed. Let's talk about it when Jinao's situation is better. I just said that Xu Jinao has asthma and is not in good health. She can faint after a little exercise. Why don't you just change a guest? I'm fine. Hearing Xu Haixing say that he wanted to change people, Xu Jinao immediately supported his body and sat up. Don't delay the recording for me. It has been delayed. Xu Haixing raised his eyebrows. You are not in good health and insist on participating in the game. It's not good for yourself. It also delays our time, and greatly affects the audience's viewing experience in the live broadcast room. Xu Jinao's face turned pale. She bit her lip and said aggrievedly, but I didn't mean it. I thought the disease would not attack again. I'm sorry for affecting everyone. It's okay. Suning An likes to watch Xu Haixing and Xu Jinao's wrong hair. If both of them collapse, they can stand out. This is not Yao's fault. Sisters Haixing, you talk a little too much. The bullet screen also began to float over the words of insulting Xu Haixing for being inhumane and wanting to replace Xu Jinao in the C position. Xu Haixing seemed to smile but didn't smile. The love program was not funded by the internet celebrity of Suzhou University. Should I pay for the loss of a day's delay, or should you pay? Suning An opened his mouth and couldn't say a word for a long time. He could only pretend to be wronged like Xu Jinao. I just think it's great for Sister Yao to persist in recording when she is sick, and it's pitiful to faint. Well, if you think Xu Jinao is pitiful, just stay with her. I won't ask any of you to quit. How about you accompany her to rest at the base in the later recording? Although my sister's money was blown by the wind, I just don't want you to waste it on me. Xu Haixing's domineering remarks made Suning An's face pale and red. She quit the crowd and shook her head. I was in good health and took the remuneration of the director's team. I couldn't do without work. Xu Jinao insisted on getting up and said weakly, so do I. How to pretend to be dizzy and delay the shooting later? I didn't pretend to be dizzy. She frowned again, and tears rolled in her eyes aggrievedly. Xu Haixing hooked his lips coldly. If I remember correctly, you should have hereditary asthma, right? As soon as the words fell, Xu Jinao's eyes widened, and the panic on her face was fleeting. She is not a real mummy. How can she be inherited? The genetic person is Xu Haixing, but after having a system, her asthma got better and she was very healthy. Xu Jinao stood up. I ate less low blood sugar in the morning, not because of asthma. Chapter 16. Wasting other people's time is equivalent to making money and killing people. With the weak and sick state just now, Xu Jinao's spirit immediately recovered, which can be called a medical miracle. Xu Haixing is facing the camera. The 3 views can be insufficient, but they must not be wrong. It is shameful to delay what can be solved, but with a higher salary than others. And it also affects other people's work. I hope you can fight back when you meet such people when you are studying and working. After all, what they waste is your precious time. Wasting other people's time is equivalent to making money and killing people. Qingyao said coldly, and she turned her head and smiled sweetly at him, as if to say, it's worthy of my CP. The bullet screen began to brush the right light. After all, most of the people watching the live broadcast are students or social animals. And they are very sympathetic to what Xu Haixing just said. No one cared about Xu Jinao at the scene, and even stayed away from her. Yue Meng hugged Xu Haixing's arm passionately. Sister Xingxing, I really admire you. Of course, this action and the words said avoided the camera. Xu Jinao became the target of the public in an instant, and her expression was like a vegetable. Hu Huaishao also frowned, patted her on the shoulder, and went behind the camera to comfort her. Those who brushed the bullet screen were all her brain-damaged fans, who were as sick as she was. Xu Jinao bit her lip and threw herself into his arms. Brother Huaishao, I'm really wronged. and I don't want to delay. Everyone is recording, but you still delayed. She's Haixing is not a dumb person. She looked at Gu Huaishao. You know best whether Xu Jinao is sick or not. Don't get the title of liar king at that time, which will affect the image of your company. Gu Huaishao gritted his teeth. Don't be proud too early. What? She's Hicks. In smiled sarcastically. Are you older than Qing Yao's? The corner of Qing Yao's mouth was stumped by Q. He has become her to a man. She's Haixing took Qing Yao's to the resort to enjoy, and the rest of the groups looked at her with envy. Only Suning and didn't think so. He played all day and didn't take too many shots. Yue Meng subconsciously spoke for her, which was better than taking a roster coaster and being photographed ugly. By the way, because Xu Jinao's health is not comfortable, so the reward of the third place to go on a date in the amusement park is exchanged for the last place boring date by the lake under Gu Huaishao's order. Suning and didn't dare to refuse as confident as she's Haixing, and he didn't dare to say anything when he was dumb. Do you think climbing a mountain is not tiring? You must be ugly and oily when you take pictures. Yue Meng hummed. Don't be angry with me because of Xu Jinao. Suning and didn't bother to talk to her and went out to get on the bus. Li Feng comforted. Meng, don't be angry. Will you choose me tonight? Yue Meng opened his eyes wide and shook his head to look at She's Haixing, who left side by side with Qing Yao's. No, I have a candidate I like. Li Feng was helpless. Anyway, I don't want to team up with Suning An. She lived in Li Feng, not to mention, it's a live broadcast now. If someone hears it, she will be blacked. He was amused by Yue Meng. Well, I will pay attention. The means of transportation for several people I it as different, but due to Xu Jinao's unwell health, the transportation arranged by the program team for her and Gu Huaishao is the same as that of She's Haixing's group, and the driver drove to pick her up. The photography team was also divided into 5 groups and arrived at their respective places. As soon as She's Haixing arrived at the villa, he began to change his clothes, and then shot to various spas and hot springs, and did not shy away from the camera when eating. Qing Yao's could hardly find where her figure was. $CST plus Sing Sing weighs 110 kgs. It's hard to eat like this and maintain such a weight. She usually exercises. She has become muscular, so she doesn't get fat. No way. WT about the self-body management of actresses. She is also too irresponsible to her fans. Chamoy who got your mind liver but not her got her squirnits her always disgusting to your fans because it is recorded separately. The live broadcast is also divided into 5. She's Haixing has been flirting these 2 days and has attracted a lot of attention. The fan base is indeed much worse than that of Xu Jinao. Of course, Xu Jinao bought a lot of Navy and zombie fans in the live broadcast room. She's Haixing changed into a swimsuit and went to the constant temperature swimming pool to warm up, and the 8-pack abs appeared in front of him. Qing Yao's figure is impeccable, just like his 360-degree face with no dead angle. He walked to She's Haixing, BB, She's Hicks, and stared at his abdominal muscles, betting. That night, she felt good. Her naked eyes were like fire, burning Qing Yao's senses, but he didn't want to cover up his body. Instead, he was satisfied to see She's Haixing's eyes with excitement. You say, She's Haixing looked at the staff who was preparing to set up the live broadcast equipment, lowered his voice and approached him. How about I take care of you? Qing Yao's was stunned, and the staff beside him shouted, 2 teachers, keep it. This posture is very good, and the sense of CP is very full. The 2 were taken in the camera. Qing Yao's didn't say anything. She's Haixing got closer to him. If you want, I'll compare with you. The corners of Qing Yao's mouth twitched. Miss Xu is very short of men. There is no shortage. What is lacking is a high quality man like Mr. Qing. Let's see if Miss Xu has this ability. From a distance, the 2 unusually beautiful bodies are almost CK together. Whether they are CP fans or individual fans of Qing Yao's and She's Haixing in the live broadcast room, they are crazy. The figure is so good. $R plus Haixing is really in good shape, and I will definitely not be as thin as a skeleton. In I user moi who's bumped FR plus me. Haha, it's so speedy after the warm up. Qing Yao's jumped into the water with She's Haixing. Both of them chose the freestyle swimming posture, and it was obvious that Qing Yao swam faster. After 2 consecutive 50-meter rounds, She's Haixing was already out of breath. She has strong endurance. When she swam 500 meters and almost reached the finish line, she narrowly beat Qing Yao's. $CST plus Haixing. Long hoist her flowers her girls are strict top her out to alloy beat Qing Youze, who has 8-pack abs. My $CST plus is so awesome. I love her so much. I declare that She's Haixing is my husband. She's Haixing leaned against the edge of the pool and gasped. Mr. Qing You, used took off his swimming goggles, and his face stained with water drops and his worldly handsome face amazed everyone. I'm willing to gamble and lose. He didn't seem to be unwilling at all, and even had a hint of play in his eyes. I said in advance that I spent a lot of money. Coincidentally, I have too much money to use up. The camera was placed at the other end of the pool, and no one heard what they said. After the lunch break, the program team sent a new task. Although the 5 groups recorded separately, we still need to do the task. In the video, the host vividly introduced the task rules. Before dinner at 6 o'clock, whoever has the highest cumulative popularity in the live broadcast room will win today's popularity group championship. The champion can be qualified to eat the big meal arranged by the program team without cooking tonight. And the mysterious prize? Chapter 17 She's Hixing swiped the love variety show live broadcast. Now the most popular live broadcast is Jin Yao and Mr. Gu's number 1 Red in the Universe group. And the second and third place are the Singaya group and the King KO group respectively. The other 2 groups are going to cheer up. The so-called group name is the name chosen by the program team from the live broadcast room. It can be seen that the group names of Shijin and Gu Huaishao have many private goods. After the mission began, everyone tried their best to attract the live audience. The 2 of the universe is number 1 Red group borrowed the stereo directly in the amusement park. Gu Huaishao sang and Shijin danced, which cooperated very well. The number of people in the live broadcast room has risen wildly. King KO couple chose to take the audience to visit the museum's cultural and creative store, and it was also very popular. Yue Meng and Zhou Nan of the strongman group volunteered in the scenic area, and there were a lot of people watching. As for Su Ning'an and Li Feng, they looked at each other after the failure of the last game. The 2 people in the live broadcast room seemed to be chatting with the audience together, but in fact they looked different. With a physical collision, Su Ning'an can frown. As an ideal, Li Feng's expression management is very good, so he has attracted a lot of bad reviews for Su Ning'an. Only the years in the summer resort are quiet. It seems that she's Hixing and Qin Yao's do their own things and don't care about this task. What's the matter? Why are they not in a hurry? Now our live broadcast room is at the bottom. Why don't they open for business? Why is my wife not active? I think $$ plus Sing Sing is making a big move. Qin Yao looked at his mobile phone and was processing his work. She's Hixing held his mobile phone and his face was almost laughing. What is this sister doing? It's her what pink her liver blood loss what her liver blood loss team with liver blood loss sure who timber coincidentally. She's Hixie. Angie watched the love variety show. The bullet screen was sobbing again. I thought she $$ very dedicated when I saw her so hard work before. Although there were a lot of black materials before, I chose to stay in her live broadcast room because of her dedication. As a result, she wasted my time like this. I went to the live broadcast room of the most popular in the universe to watch YAO dance. Fans of Lion don't come to the live broadcast room to lead the rhythm. Get out. Yep. Ozzy, the sense of CP is so strong. Sitting here is like an old husband and wife, and you don't have to try hard to please others. We fans just like it. $$ plus Sing Sing has finished her work. More than half of the number of people in the live broadcast room was reduced, and she's Hixing only looked at it after the staff reminded him. Everyone, it's really a little boring now. You can go to other live broadcast rooms, but remember to see back at 5:30. There is a surprise. Her words aroused many people's curiosity. Although the number of people in the live broadcast room has decreased, the number of favorites and followers has increased, all of which are agreed at 5:30 for she's Hixing. Even so, not to mention that her popularity is at the bottom, comprehensive data shows that her popularity is even much worse than that of Su Ning'an and Li Feng live broadcast rooms. But she is not in a hurry at all. Don't think that swiping some money can make YAO dance such a disgusting dance. Their I think pole dance is very good, and it is also one of the international dance competitions. However, according to Shijin physique, she will definitely not be able to jump. She has no strength, which is very much in line with the current DEFORMED aesthetic standards of white, young and thin. The bullet screen was so noisy that Shijin was stunned to see the gift BR ushed by she's Hixing, and it took a long time to recover. Is this woman crazy? What's the intention of being so anxious to send popularity to your live broadcast room? Gu Huaishao walked to her and avoided the camera. If she wanted to brush, let her brush. I don't believe she can brush all the time. She spent money to increase the popularity of our live broadcast room. Her live broadcast room. Shijin bit her lip and nodded. Okay, but she asked me to dance pole dance. It's okay, I'll deal with it. Gu Huaishao walked to the live camera and pretended not to know that this was she's Hixing's thanks. Pole dancing can't be danced because of the limited venue, and YAO has learned elegant art since she was a child. Although the audience has brushed a lot of gifts, she can't make such a rude request that she can't get on the stage. He is worthy of being the male protagonist in the book. Even if he says such an incorrect view, no one will refute it. Even the person who was famous for the pole dance just now didn't say anything. Sister Xing, Earl Pernoy who sing gospel book seated to non-deal giver who who sound her chapter Shiba singing very well. Don't sing next time. Who always half round. How to sing this? Sister Xing. FR plus MU. Shijin caught him. No, she is playing with you. Is this a mess? Director, how can the same recorded guest have the ability to make trouble with banknotes? WT kind of trouble is this? Sister Xing can be a guest or an audience. What's the matter? Just who took her pieces of her plover her my stomach merged tear toy story through the bullet screen choreo again. She's Xing looked at the two standing in front of the camera with a strange expression. He couldn't fart for a long time, so he directly left the live broadcast room and went to the Kinky KO live broadcast room. After visiting the museum's cultural and creative store, the Kinky KO couple went to the place where the museum could shoot live broadcasts and took the audience to watch the exhibition. The appearance of Sister Your Star made the live broadcast room exhibit SSSVIP Your Star CST $R is coming and sending out 8,000 CONSECUTIVE spaceship, so the live broadcast room went crazy. I don't know what's going on with the couple. She's Xing brushed another 1,000. This, the woman reacts quickly. Thank you for the audience's gift, but please consume rationally when brushing gifts. You, Sister Xing, didn't say a word and left the live broadcast room. She's Xing was covered with rain and dew. She even went to Suning An's live broadcast room and sent out 2,000 spaceships each. The gap in the ranking popularity points of the live broadcast room narrowed, and Xu Jinio was ANX. I used to see the prompts. The CP fans of King KO are very fixed, and the audience is also very popular. In this way, they may really be caught up by this little couple. Xu Jinio turned her back to the camera. Brother Hu is how? What should I do? My sister just wants to do it to me. Her eyes are red, and I feel sorry for her. At this moment, Hu is how can't wait to kill She's Xing to vent his anger. There is only one way. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, She's Xing sat on the sofa and stirred up the farce with a smile on his face. However, in order to collect money, the program team judged that She's Xing's behavior was okay, and even hoped that she could reward more. Hu is how sent a text message directly to She's Xing. WTUC. She's Xing went to the live broadcast room and burst into laughter when he saw that Hu is how had stood upside down. Fingers crossed the gift interface of the live broadcast room, and now, scent of spaceships flew by. Sister Xing, Tart in pink. Hu is how's voice trembled, and he couldn't help being helped down by the stuff before he finished singing a song. She's Xing brushed another 2,000 spaceships. Sister Xing, in pink world singer team amongst her figure stopper property heater T and SIK $N. As soon as she slipped away, Hu is house fans hadn't even said anything to scold her. Xu Jinio's eyes were red. Mr. Gu, you have suffered. I didn't expect Xing to play tricks on people so much. She took the rhythm. So a group of people rushed to She's Xing's live broadcast room to insult her. Black and red are also red. The popularity of being scolded is also considered popular. Although She's Xing didn't like Yao Fan fighting power, she didn't refuse to come. 5:25. Seeing that the game is coming to an end, the distance between the popular points of each team is also very open, and the ranking is basically stable. She's Xing sat in front of the live camera and didn't even ask Qingyaos to come. It's almost 5:30. And I'm about to send a surprise to all my fans. That's right. She took out her mobile phone, and you can receive the surprise I sent on the spot. She's Xing smiled slightly. All the viewers who came to the live broadcast room would order yuan in cash. My off-court assistant hit him on the spot, and I would add yuan to the audience who didn't get it. I apologize to you for the subsidy. After all, there must be a lot of people in the live broadcast room in less than 10 minutes. It can't be helped to look at it. Now, while there are few people, you can leave your account number and other payment methods on the bullet screen. On the other hand, Qingyaos, who did not appear on the camera, was just thinking about asking people to come to the live broadcast room to reward him. She's Xing was not so ugly to lose. He forgot that this woman had the ability to make a fortune. Surprise flashed through his eyes, replaced by the playfulness in his deep black eyes. She's Xing still has a conservative estimate. In less than 5 minutes, the number of people in the Xinghai live broadcast room has reached more than 10,000. Because the bullet screen was brushed a lot and fast, there was a stock phenomenon in the live broadcast room. In addition to the number of people and the amount of rewards, there is also an assessment credentials for popularity points, which is the bullet SC. Rian. The more bullet screens, the more popular they are. Almost all the audiences of the whole platform poured into the live broadcast room of Xinghai, and the ranking went from the penultime to the first place. It's only 10 minutes to surpass the live broadcast room of the universe's number 1 red. Xu Jinio looked at the fact that there were only more than a dozen fans left in the live broadcast room, and her face was distorted in anger. Hu is how himself wanted to comfort Xu Jinio when he was angry, and his whole body hovered on the edge of anger. Are you going to give up now? Xu Jinio looked like she was going to die when she encountered difficulties. But we performed our talents so hard in the afternoon. Why could she easily steal my slide? She was going to cry again. Hu is how couldn't stand it. What can we do? Xu Jinio raised her eyes and looked at him aggrievedly. Brother Hu is how? Did I make you unhappy? Hu is how sighed helplessly. Fool, of course, it's not you. It's She's Xing, who is too scheming. We can't give up. They will come back after receiving the money. You have more fans than hers. She nodded. The two continued to sing and dance. It was true that someone came back, but even She's Hixing's head didn't arrive. It's okay. It's also a good thing to work hard on management and not give up. Compared with the popularity bought with money, Xu Jinio can only comfort herself that She's Hixing got all the fans of money, not her own. At 6 o'clock, the program team closed the live broadcast platform on time, and the system shouted, "Your ability to spend money is getting stronger and stronger. In just half an hour, you spent almost 1 billion yuan. Congratulations, you have successfully hit your face and opened a treasure chest. In view of the performance rating of excellent this time, you will be given an additional charm value 加10, force value 加10, and strength value 加10. BOPN has been opened. Congratulations on winning the favor of thousands of people. This function will immediately draw 1,000 people and fundamentally change their views on you. In other words, your loyal fans have increased by 1,000. Except for the extra gifts, die-hard fans are useless at all." On the way back, She's Hixing felt that his body had indeed changed significantly. The strength is strengthened, but the body is much lighter, and she has a lot of tricks in her mind. Fighting, taekwondo, boxing and martial arts. That's right. If it goes on like this, the nature of the original body will get better and better. Arriving at the base, the 5 groups in front of the camera were more tired than one group. Only She's Hixing and Qin Yao's were in very good condition. Even before coming back, they did a deep massage. Yue Meng came to She's Hixing, and there seemed to be a star in his big eyes, and called Sister Xing Xing. Chapter 19. The biggest investor of the program, he dares to offend. You are really too handsome. It's, She's Hixing smiled. It was trivial. At dinner time, she and Qin Yao sat on the sofa to have time. Although Xu Jinio was only in second place, the program team thought that she was not feeling well, so she and Gu Huaishao also took a rest and waited for the program team's meal. So the remaining 3 formed a companion. Xu Jinio felt that She's Hixing was so uncomfortable. Before leaving, she had to implore her, "Mr. Gu, let's help them. Although we don't have to cook, we are all free, and so it's better to move forward and retreat together." The bullet screen praised Xu Jinio for her enthusiasm and kindness, and She's Hixing, who was playing with her mobile phone, made a judgment in their mouths. Xu Jinio looked at her and didn't get a response. She went to the kitchen with a lot of anger. The kitchen was quite harmonious. When the big meal of the program team was delivered, several people stood behind the kitchen table, and their envious eyes were about to fall. Foie gras, red wine, and sirloin steak specially shipped from Angus, England. Oh my god, Yue Meng's saliva is about to flow out. I must be the first next time. Let's cook first. I wasn't hungry just now, but now I'm hungry. Zhounan patted Yue Meng's top and continued to fight with their egg fried rice. She's Hixing and Qin Yao sat down at the table, and then brought in another dinner. The Alaskan golden king crab in the middle of the tray is charmingly red, and the whole plate is covered with huge shellfish, and seafood, which is mouth-watering. Xu Jinio's sour jealousy disappeared in an instant. This must be her dinner with Gu Huaishao, which is no worse than She's Hixing's. She put down the knife to cut vegetables. "Mr. Gu, I'm hungry. Such a big portion of seafood. Or shall we ask everyone to eat it together? We will definitely not be able to finish it." Gu Huaishao responded, "Let's put the cooked food on the table and eat it together. If you don't have to do it, you don't have to do it." Several people are very happy. The executive director came in and looked at the Western food and seafood that cost tens of thousands of yuan to get in a days. "Who ordered this meal? Didn't I say to order Chinese food? If the artist is afraid of high heat, rinse it with water." Qin Yao said lightly, "I decided." She's Hixing raised his eyebrows, and so did seafood. He turned his head and said to several people who were still cooking, "If you want to eat, you can eat together. Hixing and I can't finish it." Yue Meng exclaimed that it turned out to be ordered by Mr. Qin. "I just thought the seafood was ordered by the program team for YAO. She and Zhounan took the lead in taking their seats. Although there was no steak to eat, the seafood was also very good." Sitting down one after another, Xu Jinio and Gu Huaishao stood in place awkwardly. The dinner of the program team was officially delivered at this time. The dishes stir-fried by the chef are fragrant and charming. However, as the director said, these dishes are treated with water, and the taste is not satisfactory. On the long dining table, the first red in the universe CP became the edge, swooning and pretended to say, "Sister YAO, come and eat, too." Xu Jinio held her chopsticks and smiled slightly. "No, I'm willing to gamble and lose at night. The program team arranged this for me, and I can't waste it." Xu Haixing turned his head and shook the red wine glass in his hand. Then please ask Mr. Jinio to help us eat that portion. Don't waste it. I can't eat that much. Xu Jinio looked at Gu Huaishao as if asking for help with a harmless look. The whole action didn't even miss the live camera, which wanted to arouse the dissatisfaction of the audience. Gu Huaishao's hand holding chopsticks tightened, and there was nothing strange on his face. Director, is this cheating? It's her outing. But they are the first. They originally ate what the director's team prepared. Anyway, they are all delicious. They can completely choose what they want to eat. WT she just said was as if she was going to hell. Shouldn't they have cooked together? I don't know why I can't even enter the kitchen. The bullet screen has everything to say, and there are all kinds of them. Xu Haixing doesn't care at all, and Qin Yao's can't care about the things. Only the other three groups looked at the director with tableau and didn't know what to do. The executive director looked at Xu Jinio, and there was nothing he could do even if he wanted to speak for her. Xu Haixing is the biggest investor in the program. How dare he offend? This sister will change the director's team at any time. At that time, she will lose her job. Who can help Xu Jinio? That's right. Originally, we stipulated that the first person would have a big meal, but there was no regulation as for what kind of big meal. The first place enjoys privileges, so the Xinbia group can eat whatever they want, not to mention that this is their own dinner, which is not cheating. Gu Huaishao gritted his teeth secretly. In this case, it seems that he will work hard to fight for the first place in the future. Xu Jinio nodded. I will continue to work hard in the future. Xu Haixing secretly laughed sarcastically. These two people are quite good at saving face for themselves. Since it was Qin Yao's guest, the rest of the people also let go of their stomachs to eat. The more rich the dinner in front of them, the more shabby Xu Jinio and others looked. Mr. Gu, we are really brothers and sisters. From the beginning of the program to now, we don't know how many oolong incidents have happened. Xu Jinio said with a smile. Gu Huaishao responded gently, it doesn't matter. As long as it's something I've experienced with you, I think it's interesting. At this time, he didn't forget to open the business. Su Ning'an, who was sitting next to Xu Jinio, was very cheering for the camera. You guys are so loving, attracting the attention. Xu Jinio achieved her goal and looked at Su Ning'an shyly. You and Xiaoli also have a tacit understanding. The polite words made Su Ning'an and Li Feng not very happy. However, the camera was still in front of both of them, and they both smiled and said nothing. The end of the dinner is the break. Half an hour later, it was the hard-chosen session. Xu Haixing has almost maintained a relationship with Qin Yao's, so naturally he voted for her without thinking about it. Xu Haixing, 4 votes. The host read it out, and I was stunned. Xu Haixing sat lazily on the sofa and didn't care at all. Qin Yao's, 2 votes. Except for the 2 couples who choose each other, each 1 vote. Xu Haixing has become the king of popularity in the audience. Xu Jinio and Gu Huaishao chose each other, but she was not satisfied. How can Xu Haixing be popular? I think everyone should be curious about the king of popularity on our field. Who is the object he admires in his heart? Right. The host enlivened the atmosphere, and there was no response when asked this sentence. However, he was not the guest on the scene who asked, but the audience in the live broadcast room. Oyers. She owns 1 vote. Mem likes her 1 vote so much, and I don't know who the remaining 2 votes are. There must be Qin Yao's. He chose the stars last time. Chapter 20. You have to make her spend the money worth it. The more people participate in the discussion, the more popular the live broadcast room will be. The effect that the program team wanted to see has come out, and the host held Xu Haixing high under the direction of the director. It seems that after getting along with each other for a few days, everyone has seen the advantages of Xu Haixing. Of course, the charm of Xu Haixing is obvious to everyone. Now I want to ask all the guests who voted for Xu Haixing, which point of Xu Haixing is your favorite? After the announcement of the 4 people who voted for Xu Haixing, it caused a great shock in the live broadcast room. WT. Zhou Shao also voted for Xu Haixing. It's powerful termont St. Meiyuan Jia Xingxing is both male and female. I also want to marry sister Xingxing. There is no doubt that Xu Haixing has become the only prodigy, honest in the whole field. Xu Jinio, who was sitting in the C position with her, put her hand on her lap and covered it with a pillow before she dared to clench her fist tightly. I have to say that Xu Haixing seems to have changed since he participated in this program, and her change has attracted a lot of die-hard fans. Xu Jinio bit her lip and said gently, who did Xu Haixing choose? With so many people choosing you, you can have a different choice from yesterday. I really envy you for being so popular. Yes, Sister Xingxing, if you don't know how to choose, you'd better team up with the new team members, so that you can have a new experience. and our program will also have new points of view. Suning and didn't think it was a big deal. The most important thing was that she wanted Xu Haixing to choose other team members so that she could team up with Qin Yu's. Li Feng is useless except for being good looking and popular. Unlike Qin Yu's, who has a strong boyfriend and a lot of money. She also went swimming into the water with Xu Haixing. If she was herself who swam with him today, she would definitely make Qin Yu's more impressed with herself. After all, her figure has been maintained for more than 10 万元. Xu Haixing glanced at Suning and Xu Jinao. She heard clearly what they were playing. However, Xu Haixing's main focus is not to care. Then you have to ask Mr. Qin what he means. After all, he chose me, and I chose him. I haven't heard that you have to change our partner after the double election. Miss Su doesn't look very satisfied. Why don't you discuss it with the director's team and ask them to directly arrange the person you want to form a team for you? Suning An was slightly stunned. Sisters Haixing, what are you talking about? Didn't I just give you a piece of advice? Xu Haixing seemed to smile but didn't smile. I guess the premise of your advice to me is that you vote for Qin Yao's and want to partner with him, right? She said it bluntly, which inevitably made people fantasize about what Suning An meant for Qin Yao's. A little internet Singapore dollars Libr plus IT still wants to climb Qin Yao's. Does she know who Qin Yao's is? It person to Libr or plus dinar plus I person. Isn't Qin Yao's the prince of any country? All trouble who sits and stoppered her hair off her which who bumped out her printers are her when Xu Haixing saw the bullet screen. His eyes fell on the man beside him and slowly said, Mr. Qin, in this way, I won't force anyone. If you also want to change your date, I don't mind. Don't want to. Qin Yao's words almost blurted out. Suning An couldn't stand up when he heard this. The scene was awkward for a moment. Xu Haixing was happy to see this crematorium. She spent some money, so she had to spend the money worth it. No one spoke, and the host didn't know what to say for a moment. Nevertheless Xu Jinao changed the topic with a smile. An, you and Xiali are a good match. Many of your CP fans are waiting for you to do business. You must have scared Xiaoli by joking just now. Li Feng didn't want to work with Suning An, but before he came, the agent had already told him that he would never show his personal character in this program, otherwise he would definitely attract a lot of black people. He stroked his chest with a smile, holding back the nausea and joking. I just thought I was going to do the task alone later. How can he be alone? Isn't there another female guest here? I think Ifeng and Meng are quite a good match. The combination of you two should have a big point of attention. Xu Haixing arced a fire, and Li Feng's brain turned quickly, thinking about how to answer this sentence. The agent standing not far away suddenly nodded gently to him. What does this mean? Do you want to agree to this suggestion? Li Feng also wants to change his partner. Compared with the cold-looking Suning An, he prefers the cute Yue Meng. Sisters Haixing is right. If Sister Ning An wants us to change a partner, or we will mess up the cards again. Anyway, his vote was also casually cast for his most unlikely Xu Haixing. Suning An gritted his teeth and knew that Xu Haixing was intentional, but he couldn't show any displeased expression on his face. If you all want to change, then vote again. She pretended to be generous, but many people saw her disguise and said bluntly that she was green tea. What are you pretending to be? Isn't the person who just proposed to change a new partner? Are this internet celebrity? Why do you seem to accept the arrangement of fate now? CST $R plus thing is really an act of tea. I don't know how many surprises there are. 32, Xu Jinao yawned. If you want to start again, hurry up. It's getting early. I'm so tired today. I want to rest early. The host asked the director's advice. In the end, he did not vote again, but adjusted the partner according to everyone's needs. Qin Yao's doesn't want to change, and Xu Haixing doesn't care. Their group is locked like the other two couples. However, Zhounan wanted to be in the same group with Xu Haixing. Li Feng chose Yue Meng. Yue Meng also found a loophole in the program and said that she wanted to be in the same group with Xu Haixing. The remaining Suning and Single Arrow chose Zhounan, but she was unwilling to partner with her alone. Forget it. The four of you fight slowly. It's time for me to go to bed. I recorded a little late today. I hope I can go to work later tomorrow. Xu Haixing got up bored and took the lead in the room. The good night and good night husband floating in the bullet screen occupied the whole screen. It seems that the fact that the god of wealth scattered money today is still a little fruitful. At least a group of fans has been gained. Xu Haixing smiled softly at the camera. My fans, good night. Go to bed early. As soon as she left, Qin Yao's didn't need to sit here anymore. The two left one after another. CP fans knocked their backs for a while and left the live broadcast room. After Xu Haixing and Qin Yao's accumulated fans and CP fans in the past few days withdrew, the number of people in the live broadcast room was directly reduced by 1/3. No one thought that the two combinations, which were originally the least favored, would gain so much popularity in just one day. Seeing this, Xu Jinao almost spit out a mouthful of blood. Chapter 21 Love that you look average but think you are very beautiful. She's Hixing has more fans than her now. She doesn't believe it. Xu Jinghao didn't have the heart to see how to group it in the end. She went back to her room and called her agent Liang Hong. Sister Hong, why is the progress of the whole variety show not as we expected? If we don't find a way, She's Hixing's popularity will be higher than mine after the program. Liang Hong doesn't care much. She is black and red now, which can't be compared with you. What are you afraid of? Cultivate a good relationship with Mr. Gu in the program, and I can make you one of the red flowers. If there is an agent, Xu Jinghao is in a much better mood. After She's Hixing took a shower, the staff knocked on the door and said that Liu Zhong had something to do with her. It's time for a break now. Tell him what's going on and talk about it tomorrow during the day. The little girl looked embarrassed. Brother Liu said that it was really important, about the later journey from Africa to Antarctica. Xu Hixing is impatient. The room number told me that I will be there in 10 minutes. As soon as the staff left, Qin Yaos came out of the room. Don't worry about fraud. Liu Zhong could have told you directly if he had anything just now. Mr. Qin is so worried about me. Are you going to go with me? It's still not. You have to set up before you know what the hell they are doing. She's Hixing smiled, which made me feel deeply. She also noticed something was wrong just now. Otherwise she would not have promised the staff to meet Liu Zhong. 10 minutes later, She's Hixing knocked on the door of the room. Come in. Isn't this voice Gu Huao's how? She's Hixing snorted coldly and tried his best to call me. Mr. Gu's head was not small. She turned around and was about to leave. The door of the room opened and pulled her into the room with a force. There is a smell of dust in the unfurnished room. She's Hixing frowned and stared at the man who pushed himself to the door panel. So Mr. Gu likes this kind of play. She paused and hooked her lips coldly. Does Xu Jinghao know? Don't you know what kind of woman I like? She's Hixing. You used to try your best to please me, but now you pretend not to care about me, but you always steal Yao's things, isn't it to attract my attention? She's Hixing laughed out loud. Gu Huao's how was stunned. What are you laughing at? You look so, but you think you are beautiful? What do you mean? It means that if you have a problem with your brain, you should go to the doctor. She's Hixing pushed him away. I'm not a doctor, and I can't cure your retardation. Gu Huao's how was anxious and grabbed her wrist. She's Hixing. You are too bold. Otherwise, do you want me to cry or cry? I'm not Xu Jinghao, so don't treat me with what you think is a boss. In my eyes, you are a joke. She's Hixing's words were light, but he injured Gu Huao's how to the greatest extent. Also, I hope you can think about it carefully with your pig's head. If you are photographed, inviting me to the room tonight, will there be a lot of gossip? It may be nothing to you, but it is a fatal blow to me. Gu Huao's how stared at her with a pair of dark eyes, clenched his teeth, and the blue veins on his forehead burst out. But She's Hixing continued. Are you asking me to beg you to help me deal with those gossips that may ruin me? Then he went to Xu Jinghao to explain. Did you fall for my trick to get into such a scandal? TSK, your brain is a little easy to use, but not much. Fortunately, before you came, I had solved these troubles with my ability. Now, she took a breath and asked for someone to be you. If you can make me satisfied with the performance in the later recording of the program, I will let you go. Otherwise, if you ask someone to spread the message and ask me to meet here in the name of the producer, I promise to tell your dear Yao vividly. Words that seemed to be like guns and cannons came out of his mouth. He never knew that She's Hixing would have such a mouthwork. Gu Huao's how didn't know what to say for a moment. Did you hear me clearly? She's Hixing's attributes have increased a lot invisibly, and his strength has long exceeded Gu Huao's how's expectations. She easily pinched Gu Huao's how's hand, holding her painfully. In the future, stay away from me and don't touch me again, unless you don't want your hand anymore. Gu Huao's how was in pain but did not dare to make a sound. He doesn't want to be humiliated in front of She's Hixing, let alone let people see them, because the situation is now controlled by the cold-faced woman in front of him. She's Hixing did not break his hand and let go of his most painful critical point. As far as she is concerned, if there is no Gu Huao's how, the clown, there will be much less to see in this program. She's Hixing opened the door and left, and Gu Huao's how didn't even have the strength to stop her. Staring at her back, his eyes were full of a strong desire to conquer. Gu Huao's how doesn't believe that She's Hixing will say that he won't love if he doesn't love. This must be her trick, because she did achieve the purpose of attracting him. Qin Yaos waited outside the corridor and heard a burst of light footsteps. He looked up at She's Hixing who appeared. I thought you needed help. She's Hixing rubbed his wrist. It seems that you can't help me even if you stand here. Qin Yaos answered truthfully. I'm afraid of being scared, but it seems that you don't need it. She smiled. I really need your help. What? Xu Haixing grabbed his hand and came to my room. Qin Yao's eyebrows jumped, and the beautiful and ambiguous scene that night rushed to mind. I have to say that it was indeed a very beautiful night. He frowned slightly. If there is a gossip now, it may have a bad influence on you. Are you starting to worry about me? Xu Haixing turned around with a bright smile on his face. It seems that I didn't make a wrong choice for you to take care of me. Qin Yao didn't. He know what to say, so he simply shut his mouth and didn't say anything. Two figures passed through the villa and finally entered Xu Haixing's room. The door is closed. Xu Haixing turned around and asked Qin Yao to stick to the door just now, just like Hu Isha forced her to the door panel. Mr. Qin, you live a good life, and your appearance is in line with my aesthetics. The most important thing is that after my observation these 2 days, you are different from other stupid men. You are no, he's so stupid. Qin Yao repeated. Isn't it like that? Xu Haixing smiled. Don't chew words. What I want to tell you is that it's your honor to be my bed partner. He couldn't help laughing out loud. Miss Xu was very confident in herself. It's just so-so. Qin Yao asked. So what do you want me to do? She glanced at her bed and waited for me there. Qin Yao's face doesn't change, which is not suitable. What's wrong? Xu Haixing smiled with a strong smile on his lips. Didn't we spend the first time met in bed? Could it be that Ace is shy? Chapter 22. Mr. Qin, do you want to continue? The word Ace gently penetrated into his ears, which made Qin Yao restless. The finger hanging on his side moved. The next second, he pulled Xu Haixing closer to him and exchanged positions with her. Now, the person who holds his palm on the door and confined the other party in his arms is Qin Yao. Xu Haixing took the opportunity to put his around his waist. Do you like to stay in bed? This woman has it's been very bold. Qin Yao knows something about it, but he didn't know that she would be so bold. He squeezed his thin lips lightly, and his mouth was dry. With his palms down, Qin Yao pinched her small and soft earlobe. What do you like? Don't you know? He was drugged that night, and he couldn't remember the details clearly, but Qin Yao knew very well that the effects of the medicine had passed in the middle of the night, but he was still reluctant to let go of Xu Haixing. Xu Haixing hooked his lips, grabbed his hand down, and stayed on the soft waist of the thin willow. Of course I know, it's here. None of the words were explicit, but every word hooked Qin Yao's desire. But, she paused, put her arms around Qin Yao's neck, and leaned close to his ear. I want you to help me see some things run by the company. Do I need to take off my clothes? The heat hit his ears, and Qin Yao's warm and broad palms involuntarily tightened and pinched her waist. Do you talk to people like this? His breath was a little unstable, and he asked this sentence unsatisfactorily. Xu Haixing asked back. Can't you see what I'm talking to people like? Don't be jealous. Don't worry, I will only be yours in this relationship. Her deliberate flirtation turned into a flame that ignited the lit. Qin Yao picked her up and walked towards the bedside. I helped you, but I didn't get paid. Xu Haixing smiled, and his fingertips slid down the skin on his neck. Can you dispose of it? Qin Yao's amber eyes were as deep as the sea. He asked. Do the scars on his body affect it? It depends on how Mr. Qin avoids it. The ambiguous atmosphere is like a lead to the extreme, as if the desire will explode in the next second. Bang! The door of the room was suddenly knocked, and the flames of their eyes were cut off in an instant. Qin Yao was unhappy. Xu Haixing looked at his expression and smiled. Do you want to hide it? There is no need. Qin Yao put her on the bed with nothing to hide, but I don't plan to open the door. Mr. Qin, do you want to continue? Xu Haixing pulled the corner of his clothes and smiled charmingly. She is like a harmless child, but her eyes are like Manju Shahu's temptation. Qin Yao pulled her hand, so impatient. Obviously, the atmosphere was rekindled, but the people who came continued to knock on the door persistently. Forget it. Xu Haixing was disturbed. He let go of Qin Yao and I went to open the door. Are you sure Mr. Qin won't hide? Qin Yu, is sitting by the bed. Am I ashamed here? That's right. His reaction is very good to Xu Haixing. She got up and went to open the door. There were 3 or 5 people standing outside the door. The leading staff was carrying a camera on their shoulders, with 2 words under it. Live broadcast. Hey, surprise attack. These people are all following the photography team of Qin Yao and Xu Haixing, and their cameras directly hit Xu Haixing's face. At the request of the majority of fans, let's take a look at what their goddesses will do before going to bed. The photographer in the head said in an exaggerated tone. The staff standing at the end gestured to Xu Haixing. I just sent a message in the group for the surprise shooting mission. Xu Haixing frowned and before he could open his mouth, his body was pulled back by a force. Qin Yao's broad figure blocked her, and her face was slightly gloomy. It is illegal to expose the guest's privacy to the live camera without receiving the notice to read the bedroom. He didn't have any expression, but what he said was enough to make people afraid. The photography team took a step back and stared at Qin Yao's. Everyone opened their eyes wide. The photography teacher quickly turned off the camera and microphone. Mr. Qin, why are you here? Qin Yao blocked the door and didn't answer but asked, who can explain to me, when did you send a notice to take a surprise shooting? The photographer swallowed his saliva. The executive director said that we had just received a sudden notice. He also said that he had negotiated with the guests, so we dared to carry the camera upstairs to shoot. He looked up and looked at the whole floor with photographers at their door. Maybe they are still on their way. We want to finish recording and leave quickly. Several photographers also think something is wrong. If it's really a surprise mission, why is only this group? Let's go to the director again to ask. Several people left. Qin Yao wanted to investigate, and she's hiding behind him pulled him. Forget it. Let's talk about it tomorrow morning. They will think you are easy to bully. Men are serious. She's hiding smiled. Let me ask you, you did bad things when you were a child, and the teacher didn't look for you that day. Were you too anxious to sleep at night? Qin Yao thought carefully. I haven't done anything bad. He paused. But I understood had you meant. She's hiding pushed him out. Good night. See you tomorrow, Mr. Qin. Her voice dragged on, as if she was deliberately trying to let people know that they were in the same room just now. This is a bit dramatic, but Qin Yao was willing to be her tool. Good night, Miss Xu. She's hiding slept well this night, but the executive director doesn't sleep much. How did I tell you? Did you sell me so soon? The photographer hung his head. Isn't that what you said to me at that time? Why have you changed your way of saying it again now? Complain in your heart, and what you say is only promise. The executive director knew his psychology and was furious. You don't know how to say it when you say something wrong. Now if I'm hated, I think you. Before you finish speaking, the director gave him a head and told him to shut up. Xu Jinao came in with some health tea in her hand. The little assistant behind her also carried health tea like her and handed it to the staff who were still here one by one. Thank you for your hard work today. I am very happy to cooperate with you. If there is anything wrong with you before, I hope you can understand and tell me directly, and I will correct it in the future. She is humble. Compared with this staff who worked hard behind the scenes, Xu Jinao is like a star in the sky, which is very different from them. They are naturally very enthusiastic when they receive such thanks. No, YAO has performed well. Yes, the performance is better than those female stars and internet celebrities. Don't the audience also like you, Sister YAO? Thank you for your health tea, which has saved the lives of our group of people who stay up late. Xu Jinao enjoys the feeling of being arced by the stars. She smiled sweetly. It's good if you like it. In the future, I will often send you health tea. The executive director was still thinking that Xu Haixing was annoyed that he was teasing her on the live BR outcast, so he dispersed the others in the room under the hint of Xu Jinao's eyes. Chapter 23. You are no longer human, Mr. Xu. You must help me with this matter today. You may not know that Qin Yao also. I know that Xu Jinao frowned. Can't this matter become a hot spot? I also think so. After all, there is no official announcement to the outside world. It is an orphan and a female, in the same room. Even if she is a trust girl, those netizens can put on the shade basin that can't be removed. But that person is Qin Yao's. Others may not know Qin Yao's true identity, but the executive director can't know. Xu Jinao also knows a little information about Qin Yao's, but she can't figure it out. The rumors in the outside world are not close to women, and Qin Yao's, who is in the deep cabinet, may take the initiative to choose Xu Haixing. So how did netizens comment? The director gave her the mobile phone. In the background of the live broadcast platform, the closed live broadcast row on is the ecstasy time of the fans just now. KSWL, general match, love, adults should make it a new year. All the words, whether split or put in sentences, are not malicious at all. They even praised the relationship between Xu Haixing and Qin Yao to the highest point. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid it's not her and Gu Huo is how, but Xu Haixing. Xu Jinao will never allow such a thing to happen. Her eyes flashed. Director, please send me the video you just recorded, and I will deal with the rest. The director did so. When Xu Jinao was about to leave, he said, what should I do? Haixing is good at everything, but if she is a little confused, she must repay. If she troubles you tomorrow, I will ask my uncle to help you. Anyway, she won't drive you away. Shall I compensate you in the end? Xu Jinao frowned slightly, looking helpless, as pure as an angel. Director Huang is also a man. He can't stand such a stunning expression of a little begging himself. In the end, he forgot age. He nodded and agreed. Originally, the first place going to Europe to shoot a special event was to be decided and set off in the next few days. but because she's Hixing's South Pole trip has never been planned, the program team had to postpone the time to come up with more game links. For example, when guests get up in the morning, they need to get the right to have breakfast through the victory of the question and answer. She's Hixing cooperated, that is, before starting the task. She also had to punish the bad students. The guests arrived one after another, and she's Hixing finally arrived. Well, she interrupted the host. Director Guan, the photography team came to shoot this incident last night. They said that you had informed everyone in the group. Why didn't I see it? Director Guan pursed his lips. This is an long incident. The photography team misheard, so they carried the camera to your room. You just want to record my naked face, can you? She's Hixing smiled. Who came up with this idea? They really heard it wrong. If you don't believe it, you can ask the camera team. Has it all been a night? Guan Hui was worried that he didn't sleep all night and thought of a countermeasure. He had already spent money to shut the mouth of the camera team, and now he can't ask anything. She's Hixing is not a fool, and then turned his head. What did you do in the pipe room last night? I was stunned by Xu Jinao of Q. What? Do you want me to say it? She hooked her lips coldly and said this in front of Gu Huao's house, which was a little interesting. Gu Huao's house face turned green, and he always felt that she's Hixing was implying himself. Xu Jinao bit her lip. You misunderstood us. Last night, I went to the director's room just to deliver health tea to the staff who were still working. If you don't believe it, you can ask the staff at all. They were present when I went. She stared at she's Hixing aggrievedly, and put her hand on her chest involuntarily, just like a child. She's Hixing was indifferent. What else did you do in the room half an hour after the health tea? Xu Jinao has already dealt with it and turned her head to look at Gu Huao's house. Mr. Gu, it was you who suggested that I ask. In charge of today's process, I was afraid that it would affect the work and rest of the staff, so I asked them to leave first. Did I do something wrong? Gu Huao's half round. She's Hixing. What do you want to say? Slandering Yao has a relationship with the director. I didn't say it. She denied that she said it herself, and it had nothing to do with me to spread it. Zhou burst into laughter, and Gu Huao's Hao glared at him fiercely. Sorry, I couldn't help it. As soon as he was broken, the scene was awkward and he lost his solemnity. She's Hixing repeated. So, who came up with the idea? If Xu Jinao hadn't asked you to discuss how to make fun of me, I really couldn't think of what she did for you. Did Mr. Gu really send his woman to the director's room? 大写 H. Zhou directly held his stomach and laughed. Gu Huao's house face was like a vegetable, and Xu Jinao's face was also pale. She's Hixing covered his mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm too fast. It's a mistake. You can't say that, because Mr. Gu may be innocent. Yesterday, Xu Jinao probably walked into the director's room by herself. She's Hixing. Gu Huao's Hao was furious. As soon as he took a step forward, Qing Yao stood up to block She's Hixing. Mr. Gu, and the gentleman did not move. She's Hixing poked his head behind him. He was not a gentleman, but a villain. Wait for me. Gu Huao's Hao gritted his teeth, but there was a Chen Bitajing in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about it. She's Hixing still thought that the fire was not strong enough. That's not what you said when you asked me to meet in the utility room last night. Xu Jinao's eyes widened. Don't talk nonsense. You are shameless, and Mr. Gu is still shameless. The appearance of the rampant and angry scolding is to reveal the true nature. She's Hixing smiled. I know you are in a hurry, but don't worry. You can ask your teacher Gu where he went after the end of the program last night and ask someone to deceive me in the name of the director. He knows that I don't want to see him. Xu Jinao returned to her senses, grabbed the corner of her clothes, and her eyes turned red. Please don't talk about it, Hixing. I know you usually have a problem with me, but this is on the scene of the program. If the camera is on, should I still be a human? You are no longer human. She's Hixing came out lazily from behind Qing Yao's and sighed. Okay, no one will say it. Then I can only let the tube bed to be the bellum. Director Guan, if you lose your foothold in this industry in the future, don't blame me. After all, today someone dares to do it and pushes you out as a caution. This method of conflict transfer is very useful. Yue Meng and Li Feng stared at She's Hixing, with a calm face and full of worship in their eyes. Only Zhou interested eyes did not hide. Qing Yao's was even more calm, surrendered his identity, and acted as his knight. Guan Guan, who was still watching the excitement, was stunned. Hixing, even if you can't see how hard I'm trying to add a camera for you, you can't wrong me for some things to catch the wind and catch the shadow. Chapter 24. The truth is out. Drag it out. She's Hixing pointed directly to his photographer, Brother Photography, who said, who asked you to come to the zoo? Key shooting. Friendly reminder, if you want to be a scapegoat for the director, I don't mind. It's just that he has a much wider network than you. If you lose this job, you can still ask for other people. You may not be. The photographer took it directly. It was the director. At that time, he asked me to take a surprise photo shoot. I usually followed the group of sisters hiking. Is it possible that he still asked me to take pictures of Xu Jing'ao's group? Guan Dao said angrily. What nonsense are you talking about? Alright, the truth is out. Let's drag it out. Xu Haixing turned around and went back to the shooting position, and a bunch of people suddenly broke in outside the door. Each of them wore field vests and carried cameras on their shoulders. Obviously, she didn't scare people when she said she wanted to change the director's team. Guan Hui panicked. It was Xu Jing'ao. Wait. Xu Haixing asked the people to stop. She pointed to the cameraman. Turn on the camera and turn on the live broadcast. The guests are ready to record. The guests sat down one after another, and only Xu Jing'ao and Gu Huaishao froze in place. The cameraman compared A-OK, and Xu Haixing said, well, now let's say it. Who asked you to shoot at me alone? You haven't reacted yet. Trying to take pictures of my untidy clothes. Guan Hui calmed down for a moment and looked at the camera flashing green. He felt bad. He looked at Xu Jing'ao and hesitated whether to say it out. Xu Haixing pointed at him. Well, now give us a close-up of the director to see who his eyes fall on, either the mastermind or the accomplice. How dare a photographer take pictures? However, she just wanted to have a scaring effect. Guan Hui swallowed his saliva and opened his mouth. Yes, it's Xu Jing'ao. In addition, she is related to the producer. She said before that she wanted me to make more trouble for you on the program. She also said that she couldn't let YO accumulate popularity through this program and let you edit you in the direction of spoofing in the later stage. Yue Meng covered her mouth. Oh, my god, is there such a dark scene? When the agent recommended me to record this program before, I didn't mention such a thing at all. Could it be that YAO also spoofed me in order to set off? Su Ning'an had a little eyes and spoke for Xu Jing'ao. You think too much. What kind of coffee shop are you? People know how Sister Xing curses a lot. Black and red are also red. If you want to be a companion, you are not qualified enough. Yue Meng's mouth shriveled. No matter how black and red he is, he shouldn't be treated like this. What you say is boring. Don't pretend to be a white lotus flower. I saw you smoking in the back garden the night I first came here. Are you still silly and sweet? Hey, haven't come yet. The scene suddenly got out of control. Li Feng didn't like Su Ning'an and said a few words for Yue Meng. Zhou watched the excitement and stood on Yue Meng's side, who had cooperated for 2 days. The remaining 2 people, Xu Haixing and Qing Yao's, are completely out of the matter. They stared at the outside of the court, and Xu Haixing's mouth was joking. Qing Yao's was indifferent and seemed to be interested in anything. Xu Jing'ao bit her lip. Haixing, do you have to us like this? Do you have to be scolded on my back to be satisfied? If that's the case, then I won't struggle, as long as you can make the program go on normally. After all, so many staff members are waiting here. Don't put shit on me. Now I just want to know who proposed to shoot me alone last night regardless of my privacy. How can this bring me to my reputation? Halfway through Xu Haixing's words, his eyes sank. If it weren't for you, you didn't have to worry at all. Justice is in people's hearts. Xu Jing'ao is upright and not afraid of crooked shadows. Why are you so afraid of it? Put away your white lotus as a pie. Isn't it great for everyone to help find out the suspect? Xu Jing'ao opened her lips when she said, but she didn't know how to deal with it. She can only pull the corner of Gu Huaishao close. Mr. Gu, believe me, I really didn't. Before Gu Huaishao could speak with a black face, Xu Haixing said, Director Guan, he said you are lying, so get out of here. The program team doesn't need a director who charges money to do bad things like you. Guan Hui is in a hurry. It's her. It's really her. She called me and said it, and I knew it happened, so I recorded it at the beginning. If you are afraid that you need evidence, I can show it. Okay, then show the evidence. A cunning person like Guan Hui can't do anything that harms others and harms himself for some money. Xu Haixing thought that he would just bite Xu Jing'ao to death, but unexpectedly, he saved the evidence. I have to admire this little man. The cameraman didn't dare to film the camera at them. She simply got up and pointed the camera at Xu Jing'ao and his group. Audience, I think some people saw the surprise shooting last night, but no one informed me that there would be an assault shooting, and I was the only one who was teased like this. If it hadn't been for the time for Mr. Qing and I to do anything, the the camera team would have broken the door to show everyone the living screen. Police, according to the instructions of the director, was her user team pervert even on the topper speed tours for popular on team. It's disgusting to talk into team with men on the program. WTS the matter? Can by Lionel's stinky fans not change the topic here? Didn't you hear what they said just now? It's your steaming and forcing people to break in and shoot. It is also illegal to instigate others to violate privacy. Pure passerby. It's aims to be the fault of the crying female star. She is very familiar, but she can't remember what works she has seen in. Xu Jin'ai will fan the yin wind to light the ghost fire, and Xu Haixing is not a vegetarian. 3 or 2 words will reverse the direction of the whole thing. Guan Hui turned on his mobile phone and prepared to play the recording directly in front of the camera. I don't know when Liu Zhong, who appeared, snatched his mobile phone. Who knows if you made the audio to get rid of it? After all, the program has been recorded for so long in the past few days, and you can also extract Jin'ai's audio from the video. When the words fell, he directly smashed his mobile phone to the ground. Such a director is really not worthy of our program team. How dare he let people go to the surprise shooting? You are a man, I don't know what the purpose is. Get out of here. Liu Zhong directly shouted at Guan Hui, who was framed, to leave. And the other employees of the director's team looked at Xu Haixing sadly. Well, do we have to go, too? I can't leave. This is my first internship job. I was kicked out like this. Who will stamp it for me? I'm the only one working in my family. My job is gone. What will I do in the future? The words are full of their complaints to Xu Haixing. Chapter 25. Black and red are also red. Xu Haixing returned the camera to the cameraman and said without changing his face, you don't use it. Those who don't know are innocent. But it depends on who you want to follow in the future. If you want to follow Xu Jin'ai and Gu Huaishao, you can choose what to do later. If someone wants to have a new film group, I will also welcome it. The evidence did not come out, but everyone saw Xu Jin'ai's panicked face just now and knew what the truth was. Therefore, there are more and more words questioning Xu Jin'ai on the bullet screen, and Xu Haixing's attitude of repaying grievances with virtue has been praised a lot. The people of Guan Hui's team still think about the health tea sent by Xu Jin'ai last night. How could such a beautiful person do such a thing? They didn't believe it. With the resentment that Xu Haixing almost lost his job just now, almost all of them chose Xu Jin'ai. Xu Haixing asked people to turn off the camera first. Very well, since you are willing to serve Xu Jin'ai, it is not my responsibility. She will pay you the salary, and you will arrange the work of recording and shooting. An year later, how can so many people serve only one person's shooting? Immediately, someone knew that the choice just now was a trap. Sisters Haixing, can I join your team? Someone reacted quickly and took the lead in raising his hand. Xu Haixing smiled but didn't smile. Do you still need me to teach you the truth of loyal servants and to masters? How can Xu Jin'ai afford the salary of so many people? But now if I drive them away, I'm afraid no one in the whole group will help me. And even Fing, more resentment. She bit her lip and looked at Gu Huaishao with tears in her face. Brother Huaishao, what should I do? I was really wronged. If it hadn't been for Xu Jin'ai's touching face, Gu Huaishao would have been irritable and wanted to push her away. Because of Xu Jin'ai, Gu Huaishao also attracted a lot of insults. But when he thought of the great career of the Xu family, he entered his anger. I believe you, Yao, but so many staff members may still need to deal with it. He looked at the staff who were pushed away by the new director's team with a headache, and secretly scolded Xu Jin'ai for these things for him. Xu Jin'ai bit her lip. Although it has nothing to do with me, I can't bear to see so many people lose their jobs. Brother Huaishao, or we'd better let them all stay here to work. This is very beautiful. If Gu Huaishao agrees, it is impossible for him not to pay. But he may make a big deal. But if he doesn't agree, it means that he is unkind. The abandoned staff was grateful to Didi, and Gu Huaishao could only nod under the expectant eyes of everyone. Xu Haixing couldn't help laughing when she saw that his hands were clenched into fists. Then shall we continue recording? She looked sideways and stared at Liu Zhong who came back. Liu Zhong nodded vigorously and started. Xu Jin'ai was scolded for this matter and became a hot topic. But she could not easily clarify. She knew, otherwise Xu Haixing could directly tear her back to her home. Town. Damn, she controlled such an important lifeline as herself. Xu Jin'ai didn't know what to do to win back a game again. Xu Jin'ai's fans have lost a lot, but because the base of her fans is there, she doesn't even take off a single hat. However, Xu Haixing's fans have increased more than her. After a whole day, the two seemed to be fighting on the hot search list. Xu Haixing is happy to see this result. Black and red are also popular. However, Xu Jin'ai was not so relaxed. After the recording of the program, the agent called her for 3 hours in a row, and he had to say once every 10 minutes, YAO, or you can quit. But how could she let Xu Haixing go like this? If you want to live like a shrinking turtle, isn't it more about realizing the boiling things spread on the internet? Sister Hong, I still want to try again. Aren't we going to Europe to shoot later? I am confident that I can regain the love of my fans. Liang Hong sighed. It's good to be confident, but now your prima goal is not to be loved, but to reduce your appearance in front of the public, so that the heat of this matter will fade, and you will have a chance in the future. No, I have decided. Xu Jinai stood on the balcony and looked at the staff who were still busy in the garden in the middle of the night. This time I won't let Xu Haixing grab my little tail again. The plan to go to Antarctica to record the program has come out. The live broadcast has been suspended for a day, but the recording of the program has not been suspended. Yue Meng is now attached to Xu Haixing's side no matter what he does, and he calls Sister Xing very sweetly. Xu Haixing didn't dislike her, and occasionally felt that Yue Meng's contrast was quite interesting, so he let her be a little follower behind him. The general director of the new de-resting team is a sister in her early 30s, surnamed Qiu Yuan. Originally, Qiu Yuan was born as a filmmaker, but because her films were not recognized by the industry, she has been lukewarm. When Xu Haixing asked Wen Qi to find her, she also got angry and felt that Wen Qi was questioning her strength. However, she always had to have dinner with the team, even if Qiu Yuan didn't want to admit it. Xu Haixing did give too much. She promised to be the director of this variety show. Although she lacked experience, Xu Haixing and Wen Qi said they believed in her, which gave Qiu Yuan some confidence. Now that she has come to do this job, she has to do better with the team. Therefore, when Xu Haixing said that funds were not a problem, she directly drew the split-frame draft of the variety show overnight. Variety shows don't need to be divided into cameras. The assistant looked at Director Qiu's manuscript and swallowed his saliva. Perhaps, after this variety show goes to Antarctica, we can make it into a variety show documentary. Xu Haixing frowned. Assistant Xiaopi patted his hand. I also said so. But Director Qiu questioned the need to use this idea. Xu Haixing also clapped his hands. This is good. Xiaopi was stunned. But the audience watching variety shows won't want to watch documentaries. Xiaopi, this is where you should learn more from Director Qiu. She pointed to a few people in the room. With so many people, are you still worried that there is no variety show effect? If Director Qiu is here to shoot, I believe she can also make the documentary very interesting. Of course, Xu Haixing will not say that Qiu Yuan's later award-winning film at the International Film Festival was shot in Antarctica. Qiu Yuan's parents are the members of the scientific examination, stationed in the poles for decades, know much more than those jars of water in the industry, so she naturally has the confidence to let Qiu Yuan do this. However, it doesn't matter if the response is not good. Her reputation has already been made, and it doesn't matter whether the variety show makes money or not. The important thing is to have fun. Xu Haixing has never been to these places in his lost life. Can't he make up for his regrets in this life? Qiu Yuan's eyes were slightly red. Haixing, I didn't expect that the person who knew me best was you. Chapter 26 Antarctic Journey. The Antarctic journey is divided into 3 parts. First, go around Africa and have close contact with wild animals. The second one is stationed in Antarctica for more than a week. The third is the return trip, and come back from Australia. The trip to Africa, the poles and Oceania is not too extravagant compared with Xu Jinai's trip to Europe. Xu Jinai and Gu Huaishao did not participate in this discussion. The two were still showing their love in the garden in front of the camera. The following shots will still be specially recorded and released, and Xu Jinai can't play it at all. In the room, several people were excited to discuss, and even Suning and couldn't help joining their topic. 2 hours later, the plan was finalized, and Qiu Yuan immediately asked people to book a plane ticket. I still have to choose people to see who will go with us. All go. Xu Haixing sat on the sofa, holding a cup of black tea. Your team arranged everything, and tried to eat, live and travel the same as the guests. The polar region is not a comfortable place to live. Only when you eat well and live well can you shoot well. So the matter soon spread in the shooting base. Compared with Xu Jinai's trip to Europe, who still have to choose some people to follow, Xu Haixing's side is completely heaven. It's not what I said. Their welfare is also better. How can all the stuff go? I heard that Xu Haixing invested 3 billion yuan in the program team. Do you think they have enough funds? But we are also the director team of this program. Why don't you allocate some funds to us? You're stupid. Didn't you make it clear that you didn't want to hang out with Xu Haixing when I took the team a few days ago? I regret. I haven't been to Europe. but I haven't been to Africa and the poles. I don't have a chance to go to these two places. In this way, Mr. Xu Jinio is indeed much poorer than she's Haixing. Stop talking. This is under her room. Go. Go. The sound of the stop talking outside the window came into Xu Jinio's ears word for word. She stood in the floor-to-ceiling window with her fingertips embedded in her palm. Xu Jinio didn't even have a chance to shine. She won't admit defeat like this. If she's Haixing must do the right thing to her. Don't blame her for being cruel. Before going abroad to shoot, the crew rested for a few days. There is no live broadcast, but the audience is more and more looking forward to the following programs. The trip to Antarctica is my lifelong dream. It $signs filmed with director Chiu. I think it should be very beautiful. Is the Earth Crew, a niche director. A previous short film won the White Magnolia Best Show, Outing and Best Plot Award. There are many more contents discussing she's Haixing's group of travels on social platforms, and Xu Jinio's popularity gradually declines. What appeared in front of the public was the topic of she's Haixing is charging 3 billion in love. But not many people believe in this matter. But the hit is there, and the rest doesn't matter. At least she's Haixing's Weibo comments have a lot of positive comments, and they are no longer all abusive. When Wenqi called she's Haixing, she was packing her luggage. At 8 o'clock tonight, their group will embark on a journey to the South Pole. Xingxing, you succeeded. She's Haixing sat on the ground and said it earlier, listening to his sister. But I still don't know how you got so much money. Don't worry about this. It's a serious way anyway. She paused. Have you packed up your things? See you at the capital airport at 8 o'clock. If you can't make it, you can come to the program team at your own expense. Clean up. Because when she has been busy for so long, she should also go out to relax and have a good time. She's Haixing smiled, then looked forward to our trip around the hemisphere. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the base suddenly became deserted. Xu Jinio looked at the plane flying in the sky and grabbed Gu Huaishao's hand. Brother Huaishao, my sister must have done it on purpose. Obviously, she took so many people there, but she left us here. Gu Huaishao listened to the sweet voice of the woman beside him, and there was an indescribable strangeness. It seems that it is because Xu Jinio must get a special recording in Europe that they end up like this. He frowned and removed his hand without a trace. It doesn't matter. I have asked the director of the gold medal variety show for help. This time, we will definitely not be trampled on by her. Xu Jinio smiled and took his arm sweetly. Brother Huaishao, it's good to have you. Otherwise I don't know what to do. Gu Huaishao's face finally softened and he put his arms around Xu Jinio's shoulder. Don't be afraid, I will be with you. She's Haixing sneezed fiercely, and Qingyao's beside him took off his blindfold. Cold. She shook her head and looked at the time. 3 o'clock in the morning. There were still more than 10 hours to arrive at their first stop, Cape Town. But she's Haixing was sleepless at this moment. The stewardess added a blanket to her, and Qingyao's actually reached out to help her pick up the corner. She's Haixing opened the window and he looked out of the window. The photography teacher was really busy. When he saw her side face, he began to shoot crazily. Mr. She looks very beautiful like this. Yes, 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 you can turn your head a little. No, it was also very beautiful just now. It's completely a 365° dead angle. In order not to delay the work, Qiu Yuan let the director's team get on the same plane. Although she's Haixing advocates that everyone should take the first class, because of the limited seats in the first CL. Us, the people sitting here are only guests, Qiu Yuan and assistants, and 2 photographers who collect materials. Except for she's Haixing and Qingyao's, no one slept in the whole first class. After they woke up, the rest of the people spoke a little louder. Only Su Ming'an was silent, looking at Li Feng, who was about to talk to Yue Meng sitting in the front row. Her fingertips were white. Fortunately, the photographer only took their single material. After more than a dozen hours of transfer, the Y landed in Cape Town, South Africa. She's Haixing yawned and sent a message to Wenqi, who missed the plane. Our river took merely on the plane covered by Wi-Fi. Wenqi zoomed in on the photos she took and couldn't wait to teleport it. Who else is more fun than her agent? According to the arrangement of the director team, they just checked in at the hotel, and the live broadcast began. The audience who had been waiting for a long time poured into the live broadcast room one after another. It's really in Africa. Is this Cape Town? The stars are tired with the journey. Why are they so beautiful? The efficiency of the program team is really fast. He0. Hurry up. Where is my female goose man? I haven't seen my female goose for a long time. I want to see my brother. Li Feng flies forward, and the maple leaves will always be with him. The bullet screen disturbed she's Haixing's eyes. She appeared on the camera for a while, but she just found a reason. Don't take it too seriously. Determining her groups are blurred allows Hixing immediately asked the system to transfer £1 million to the program team account, so they only needed to enjoy the arrangement for the next trip to Africa. In just 5 days, Hixing and Qingyao's have exceeded 10 million people in the live broadcast room. They were in a hurry to see wild animals. They were also grateful to the International Wildlife Conservation Organization, and expressed their condolences to the African Medical Corps. Of course, every project can't do without Sister Xing spending money. It's so cool to shout directly from the bullet screen. It's so cool. It feels like I'm spending money myself. My CST $R plus takes care of me. I have 8 abdominal muscles. I can warm the bed, do housework and cook. When I went to express my condolences to the African Medical Group, I saw my mother and sent her a message. She said that Sister Xing was very nice and straightforward, but she would not make people feel uncomfortable. This is on the way to the next famous scenic spot. Hixing saw the bullet screen outside the camera and sent a message to Qingyao's with a smile. Changwei who hoped to exchange social contact information not long ago, which was their first chat. Qingyao's lowered his eyes and typed on his mobile phone. Star, boy who want to consider learning. Otherwise, I can choose someone else. Q, my Western chef is a Michelin chef, and there are all kinds of Chinese chefs. I don't know what you like to eat. Hixing's eyes were straight and he typed quickly. Star, leaders were Tom's who reads the action is the star sister of tens of millions of dollars. What she likes is still quite down to earth. Qingyao saw it and gently hooked the corners of his lips. He was about to reply when the photographer in front of the car said, Mr. Qing, please sit to the right and get closer. The camera is almost too close to capture you. The two moved to the side together, and Hixing was close to Qingyao's. So you are inviting me to your house in disguise. She lowered her voice, and the microphone did not record the sound. Only people saw that the two of them were close to each other and behaved ambiguously. Qingyao sat upright. If Miss Xu wants to go, I'm very welcome. He is so bad that he left the initiative to Hixing. Hixing is not an ordinary person. She directly held Qingyau's hand. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially announced. The photographer carrying the lens had a question mark on his face, and when he opened his mouth even more, and his chin almost didn't swell in step. WTS the matter? Why was the dog food suddenly stuffed? He used lumber her receipt her figure on whom ferment her formal starums her invisible toy words stock put her scripts were we older finisher we preoccupied her grom. None of the women in their family are fuel saving lamps, not to mention that there is an old chairman with a strong desire to control. Star, put her thinks persimmon ruai, mouse boy who burn toddlers before put intervern put his real F at, Millie feud. I don't have to be your agent anymore. You can be my agent. Hixing laughed out loud and replied, it's not impossible. I just saw that you look good in the photo. After all, you are also from the film academy. You can do what I can, but you just went behind the scenes. When she looked at her indifferent look and didn't know what to say for a moment. Forget it. Talk to her slowly after you get off the bus. They went up from South Africa a few days ago and stayed in the capital of Kenya. Today, they soon arrived at the East African savannah. As soon as he got out of the car, Hixing was dragged to the tail of the car by Wenqi. Qingyao's is not as pure as he seems on the surface. Persimmon, what on earth do you want to say? Open your mouth directly. Hixing patted her on the shoulder. Is he a perverted murderer? The corners of Persimmon's mouth twitched, which was more terrible than this. Hixing laughed out loud. He is a child. He likes men. He just wants a woman with good control to decorate her facade. It just so happens that your popularity has risen recently, which meets the standards of an actress who marries into a rich family to do decoration. Seeing Wenqi's expression as if he was saying that Qingyao could eat people, Hixing was finally stunned. Sister, I really doubt whether the information you brought me is true or false when you have been an agent for so many years. When Persimmon is in a hurry, don't believe it. The whole industry knows this. Haven't you heard that a man like Qingyao has a woman around him? In the future, Hixing sighed that I would be the first woman he made public. No, this sister really doesn't listen to advice. When she saw that she patted herself on the shoulder, and then turned away from the back of Qingyao, who was walking towards him, he felt bad. The live broadcast began again. Hixing and Qingyao stood together and introduced the whole East African prairie and the animals not far away to the audience in the live broadcast room according to the content given in the script. But the bullet screen brushes all other contents. Is it true or not? It must be true. Look, the way they look at each other is really dramatic. I have been watching CP for many years, and I have never seen such a sweet couple. They are definitely dramatic. It doesn't seem in front of her screenly hovered is narrated to believe. Hixing thinks these fans are funny. Everyone, now we are seriously getting to know human friends. Please don't interrupt. Okay, the more she said this, the more the bullet screen was about to go crazy. Hixing couldn't help it. He turned around and took a deep breath, and then pulled the corner of Qingyao close. Qingyao pursed his lips and hasn't kissed yet. Xing's agent didn't allow her to kiss. She said that the live broadcast room would be blocked. Hixing couldn't stop laughing. Why doesn't this man make a draft for lying? When Persimmon was behind the camera, with a funny smile on his face, but his teeth were about to bite. Why can't she feel that there are so many brushes of general match and Mr. Qing is so handsome on the bullet screen? The only feeling of Wenqi is that her watery cabbage was arched by a pig. Although Qing Yao's is a handsome pig, the popularity of the live broadcast room has been high on the platform, and it has almost become the object of discussion for everyone. In far away in Vienna, Xu Jinio, who has visited Mozart's former residence and the Golden Hall, is ready to have a little accident with Gu Huaishao during the live broadcast thought. I too create some hot spots, but even if the live broadcast is several hours apart, they can't compete with the love explosion between Xu Haixing and Qing Yao's. In order to make this explosion, Xu Jinio pretended to be very real. Even her fair and delicate skin was scratched. However, the pain is only the concern of a few loyal fans. When it first started broadcasting, the number of people in her live broadcast room could rise to 1 million, but after the live broadcast in the past few days, there were not even 50 万. No matter how much Agent Liang hung by Splash, the popularity of the live broadcast room still can't go up. Do you want to continue to record the rest? The director of the gold medal variety show found Gu Huaishao and pointed to the data in the live broadcast room. The data is not good. Producer Liu said that if he can't survive, it will be a waste of money if he continues. Gu Huaishao looked at the other 4 live broadcast rooms that were popular on his mobile phone, and his teeth were important. Several people in the camera are observing the wild animals running on the grassland from afar, and the professional guide guides them quietly approach the non-aggressive animals. I can't touch it, but it's already the closest distance. In the bullet screen, there is the topic of continuing to discuss the romance between Xu Haixing and Qing Yao's, and more about being attracted by wild animals. Xu Haixing really deliberately got against him. Record? Why not Rico? RD. Gu Huaishao stared at the director's eyes, burning with anger. Director Zhou, you are invited by me. Why do you listen to Liu Zhong? He is the producer. To be honest, Mr. Gu, I'm not just doing your job. After this mission is over, who knows that I won't cooperate with producer Liu in the future. After saying that, Director Zhou picked up the walkie-talkie. Continue to shoot. Continue to shoot. After saying that, he looked at Gu Huaishao again. If the expenses were finished, Mr. Gu may need you to pay out of your own pocket. Chapter 29. Xu Haixing is completely popular. Doesn't he have 3 billion in capital? He smiled coldly. Is Xu Haixing's investment fake? Or maybe she didn't give 3 billion at all. I don't know, but I heard from producer Liu. What you mean is that your funds have nothing to do with the 3 billion, but the original investment amount is for you. So you need to earn your own road and accommodation expenses, which is really not just a variety show effect. When director Zhou left, Gu Huaishao punched hard on the door panel. Damn Xu Haixing. It took more than 10 days to travel to Africa. In these more than 10 days, Xu Haixing's love affair with Gu Huaishao has never been recorded on the hot search. Xu Haixing is completely popular. The love variety show has not even ended yet, and Wenqi has received a lot of notices to invite Xu Haixing, but she is still slowly screening. After all, they are not short of money now, but only a stepping stone to jump up in this circle. It won't take long for Xu Haixing to begin to transform slowly. When Persimmon told Xu Haixing about this matter, she actually sighed. Now there is money and fame. When she broke his fingers and asked her, "You are still so unhappy, isn't that what you want?" Xu Haixing shook his head. "I never think these things are few, but it seems that it's not as fun as I thought after it became popular. Sister, how else do you want to play? Do you know that your popularity has reached the top now?" Variety bonus. Xu Haixing finished speaking and pursed his lips. "Have you contacted the people you asked to find last time?" When she nodded and was almost done. "However, they didn't seem to be very interested in my solicitation before, but now they are contacting me crazily. That's enough." She hooked the corners of her lips. "Of course, what I want is not only to stand on the top, but also the people I choose to stand on the top. Let all the people at the top be mine." Xu Haixing laughed like a demon, and when she covered her mouth, "Oh wait, you almost said your idea of destroying the earth." She pointed to Xu Haixing's chest and said, "First, I have told you all about Qing Yao's situation. If you are injured in the future, don't say I didn't remind you. But of course, if you are injured, I will lean on your shoulder." In the VIP waiting room of the airport, Xu Haixing and Persimmon began to play games. In the other lounge, it is not as leisurely as them. Qing Wai listened to the questioning and reprimand on the other end of the phone, and couldn't help frowning. "I'm not kidding. Love is true. I never joke about this kind of thing." His voice sounded solemn. The old voice on the phone was full of anger. "That can't be an actor in the entertainment industry. When did our Qing family get involved with those things that didn't fit in, Grandpa?" Qin Yaos is actually not happy. Things that don't fit in are also the shortboard of Qin Group now. Don't you think it's a good thing that I can take this opportunity to learn more about the entertainment industry? And I will be more comfortable in future projects. His speech speed is always slow and logical. But today, Qin Yaos seemed to be suddenly enlightened and said a lot with a crackling mouth. Don't you want to participate in this program? I still don't know what you think. Yes, I came to participate in this program against my will, but it was also for the Qin Group. He said company and Qin Group. Without a few words, he firmly blocked the mouth of the old man on the other end of the phone. Forget it, I don't care. This matter has been spread, and all I can do is to eliminate the negative impact. Turn over just like today's Qin Group. You are slowly taking full power from your father. In the future, you will be the owner of the company, and I can't control you. I just hope you can think about the company carefully before you do things. Qin Yaos looked calm, which was natural. After hanging up the phone, he called the assistant and arranged a lot of work. Qin Yaos barely took a break. Boarding the plane again, this time when she chose to sit next to Xu Haixing. Miss Wen, are you sitting in the wrong seat? Qin Yaos got on the plane and looked at Xu Haixing sitting inside. When she took out the ticket and pointed to the seat number above. No, Mr. Qin, look, I deliberately chose the stars when I chose the seats. Qin Yaos said oh and asked Xu Haixing, is that Miss Xu's wrong position? He pointed to the empty seat next to his seat, which was the one. Xu Haixing just likes a man who is direct and generous. But this man is so good looking, which is simply Xu Haixing's appetite. Yes, I took the wrong seat. Miss Wen, please give way. I'm going out. When Persimmon was confused, took out the ticket from the pocket, and checked it carefully. No, she just sits with herself. Xu Haixing has squeezed out of it and sat next to Qin Yaos. And the photographer who boarded the plane one step later sat next to Wen Persimmon under Qin Yaos's gaze. When she understood that these two people were showing their love in front of themselves, she gritted her teeth. Xu Haixing, you boy. Xu Haixing pretended not to hear it, put on a blindfold, and slept beautifully. Seeing this, Qin Yaos gently raised the corners of his mouth and asked the stewardess to cover Xu Haixing with 2 blankets. Their next stop is the garrison in Antarctica. Then take a boat, and it won't take long to arrive at the station for the view. The video shot by Qiuyuan in Africa has been sent several paragraphs on the internet in a pilot mode, which has received a lot of praise and expectations. Many people are looking forward to the Antarctic under her lens. After a day and a night, after tossing and turning for a long and 24 hours, the whole program team came to their final destination, Antarctica, under the guidance of the station guide. After packing up their good things, they ate in their respective igloos and prepared to open a live broadcast for 4 pairs of guests for an hour. Because of the love variety show, living in the same room is an inevitable gimmick. Qiuyuan is not vulgar. In such an icy place, if the CP of the audience and fans can hug and sleep together at night to keep warm, I guess this program will be popular. Xu Haixing, who was wrapped like a bear, nodded in agreement. It's not that she didn't sleep with Qin Yaos. The other couple artist has no problem, and now they are so cold that they are holding each other together. Yue Meng bit her lip shyly. There was only one bed in the igloo. Zhounan seemed to smile but didn't smile. Of course, it doesn't matter if you want to sleep alone, but I heard that polar bears like to forage at night, and they like to eat people very much. Chapter 30. Rushing to the hot search again. Yue Meng shook his head in fright. Then I still disturbed Mr. Zhou all night. I slept very dishonestly. Xu Haixing SM. Out and exposed Zhounan mercilessly. Mr. Zhou, this is Antarctica, and polar bears don't eat people. They hunt during the day. Yue Meng heard it and gently patted Zhounan on the back. You lied to me. World eager turn time particulars of Percy Loyang's word of first her and burner I remember this stupid touched look to her her turned into on her larger in Antarctica. The live broadcast room that had just been opened suddenly began. Me hot. They heated up the field, but were soon crushed by Suning An. My suggestion is that I sleep in the same room with Meng Meng, and Mr. Zhou sleeps with Li Feng, right? It's really difficult for her to get along with Li Feng. Li Feng can't get along with her, and I agree. Mr. Zhou, I'm also afraid of polar bears. Why don't you sleep with me? The corners of Zhounan's mouth twitched and was very reluctant. Xiao Li, my gender is male, but I like women. Li Feng said, me too. But men and women are not close. They are two couples, and there is no problem with a normal love relationship. What do you think our two teams are? After slurping to her word on in our relations he although is suffering her willing Eddie. It's me and I don't want to be with this internet celebrity. WT should I do? I don't want the female goose and Jonah to be in the same room. I feel that he will bully my female goose. The bullied scream was noisy, and Qiuyuan smiled when she saw it. If this doesn't work, will it come out? She is quite talented in variety shows. Xu Haixing was so cold that she stamped her feet. In order to quickly enter the next stage, she directly helped them make decisions. Okay, let's live according to Suning then. Zhounan doesn't want to. Miss Xu, you're not generous. You can have a heater to hold you at night. But I don't. She's Haixing smiled. Why not? It is said that men's body temperature is a little higher than women's. Xia Li can be your heater. Everyone laughed. If Suning and Stinky Face along the way was ignored, the atmosphere between them was quite harmonious. After assigning how to sleep, they started a warm-up exercise to sleep at night. There are many holes in the thick ice. Some of these holes are naturally dissolved, and some are man-chiseled holes, and their task is to fish out of these holes. Are you crazy? It's so cold and the fishing time is long. Do you want to freeze us to death? Suning An was the first to speak out against, but the rest were very excited and excited. The bullet screen floated by. Casey of losing patience in the end. His gummers whom sweeter green got interesting although they are all talking nonsense without nutrition. The more bullet screens show the expectations of the audience and fans for the program. She's Haixing asked, is there any reward for the first place? This sister is here again. Does she still care about that little reward when she is so rich? WTS the matter. If you don't like it, you can get out completely. Billion fans who come to peek at the screen are not welcome here. It's Hooters 30 her stars and series word her Kusler egg. SPR plus E, SN%. When asking the host is simply killing the host nodded. Of course there is, but we can't announce it until the end of the game. She's Haixing is full of energy. The last few people still sat in front of a hole the size of a basketball, one holding a sea fishing rod without a hook. The difficulty increases. She's Haixing, on the other way, accurately threw the fishing line with Luai into the hole very skillfully and professionally. The rest of the people learned from her, but they all ended in failure. Only Qin Yao's posture was not bad, and he also threw the fishing line in. The seats of the two are very close to each other. She's Haixing found that when he leaned on Qin Yao's, it seemed to be much warmer. She made no secret of her movements and was close to him. Him doing that could think super it her however, a small fishing game live broadcast directly led the names of She's Haixing and Qin Yao's to the hot search again. At this moment, it is far away in Vienna, Austria. Liu Zhong, who followed Xu Jinai's team, pointed to the analysis data brought by the assistant, and smiled. Now I have made more money. I have to say that Xiu Yue can't make movies, but there are really two brushes for making variety shows, which can raise the popularity so much at once. Director Zhou, who was beside him, looked as black as coal. I really can't take pictures here. Liu Zhong sighed. Director Zhou, Mr. Gu and Yao may still need you to talk about it. After all, you were invited by them. Looking at Xu Jinai and Gu Huaisha working hard in the live broadcast room, Liu Zhong frowned. Why did it suddenly fail? Is She's Haixing really Yao's nemesis? When she was in Jiangchen, I don't think she had this courage. Liu Zhong seemed to mutter to himself. When Director Zhou went to tell Xu Jinai and Gu Huaisha, both of them turned pale. I went to my uncle and said that if we stop, it is equivalent to admitting defeat to She's Haixing. But if it doesn't stop, you see that there are only more than 7 people in our live broadcast room now. Is there any point in sticking to it? This is not to let She's Haixing hit us in the face again. Gu Huaisha should be much calmer, knowing that it would be boring for them to continue recording programs. Xu Jinai's eyes are red, so is that the end? For this program, I pushed all the films directed by Zhang Quan. If I really can't continue, I will lose. Yao. He took the choking Xu Jinai into his arms. I'm not saying that the recording will end, I mean that our live broadcast can end. Originally, the special recording in Europe didn't depend on live broadcast, did it? If you turn off the live broadcast, you will have more expectations. Gu Huaisha's words greatly comforted Xu Jinai. She raised her eyes and stared at him with tears in her eyes. Really? He gently wiped away all the tears on her cheeks. Director Zhou is a professional variety director I invited, who is 10,000 times better than that Xiu Yuan. If I don't have enough funds, I will pay for it. You don't have to worry about the rest at all. You just need to enjoy the trip in Europe. After saying that, Gu Huaisha took her into his arms, but his eyes fell far away on Director Zhou, who was holding his mobile phone. This scene was planned by him. If the plan to increase the popularity of variety shows fails, at least these materials that have been sneaked can make themselves the subject of discussion by netizens. Besides, he really didn't want to quit the recording all of a sudden, because he wants She's Haixing to see how he acts on her again.